forged from the love of liberty in the fires of hope and prayer. With boundless faith in our destiny, we solemnly declare. Side by side we stand, islands of the blue Caribbean Sea, this our native land. We pledge our lives to thee. Here every creed and race find an equal place, and may God bless our nation. Here every creed and race find an equal place, and may God bless our nation.
Heavenly Father, we come before you at the start of this new day, giving thanks for life, for health, and the opportunity to serve through this station. We ask for your divine presence to guide us in all we do. Bless this broadcast, that it may be a source of inspiration, joy, and unity to all who tune in. Whether near or far, may our words uplift, our music heal, and our message bring light to those who need it most. We pray for our listeners wherever they may be. Grant them strength for the day ahead, peace in their hearts, and success in all they put their hands to. Cover those traveling with your protection and those at home with your comfort and provision. Lord, may everything we do bring honor to you and be a blessing to others. Guide our steps, bless our efforts, and let this station be a vessel of positivity and hope. In your name we pray. Amen.
Your voice, your soundtrack, your station. New Era TT Radio, NETT Radio.
Your vibes again, yeah. Yeah. Can you lose sweet like sugar? What you put in that waistline? Only raising my pressure. Seeing that sugar wine. Your sweetness only calling me, only calling me. If I stand up a little closer, would you push it back on me? Get
is the NETT Radio Breakfast Show, bringing you the energy, music, and vibes to start your day right.
And of course, that is what we try to do each and every day. Make sure you start your day very, very right. Good morning, Trinidad. Good morning to you, to Tobago. Good morning to our neighbors in the Caribbean and our friends and family who are streaming all around the globe. Good day to you. And of course, I thank you so much for making us your choice. Yeah, it is New Era TT Radio, NETT Radio. Heartbeat of the Caribbean, taking you above and beyond. A beautiful God bless, believe it or not, Thursday morning already. As we head straight into the weekend from here on in. Let me say much thanks to the Heavenly Father for bringing us together for another day. And all that we do, dear God, let it be a blessing unto you. People, I'm yours truly, Sir Charles. Happy am I to be in this space with you. As we welcome everybody to the Get Up and Go. This is your breakfast show.
Get up, it's the time to start the day. The breakfast show is here, we bring in the soca way. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. Wake up, it's a brand new dawn. The breakfast show got the vibes turned on. From Maracas Bay to the Savannah line. Let's start the day in Caribbean prime. Good vibes rolling through the air. The breakfast show, energy everywhere. We talk, we laugh, we make you think. Grab your doubles or your morning drink.
Yeah, we're bringing in that sugar rush. Good morning, everybody. And of course,
Hi, good morning, guys. Yeah, and good morning to our listeners and viewers wherever you are across the planet. And welcome to the Breakfast Show, coming to you live out of Trinidad and Tobago. We know you have a choice, and we're glad you chose us. And good morning to my co-hosts, Wendell and Sir Charles. Good morning.
Good morning, Richard. Good morning, Wendell. Good morning, everybody. Get your sugar rush this morning.
Yeah, morning to Charles. Good morning, Richard. Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago. Sorry, and good morning, listeners and viewers all over the globe. I made the mistake of going out and go outside bareback this morning. Outside cold, and it looked like it's going to rain. It just chilly. The breeze was blowing. The place dark. I could swear I felt drizzle, and I regretted it because immediately I started to cough.
Such a beautiful day it is, Wendell.
Yeah, well, it's a great day to be alive. I mean, we're in the land of the living. Happy, it's a great day to be alive. You know what I didn't do? Express condolences to the Spooner family, Spooner/Pantin family, on the passing of Charlie Spooner. Many of you senior persons in the country would know Charlie Spooner. He played football, I think, for Trinidad and Tobago, but certainly was like a footballer with Malvern. Norris, help me now. Which team Charlie Spooner played with? But he passed away. He lived in the United States and partly in Trinidad and Tobago. He passed away in the United States, and his family, his daughter Deborah Pantin, Colette Spooner, and Colin Spooner, they live in the United States. They also have a home here in Trinidad. And of course, they'll be doing the viewing in the United States and bringing his body back to Trinidad and Tobago for burial, because that's what he wanted to do. You know, so condolences on the passing of Charles Spooner. Let me get the exact name. Make sure and get the exact name. I sent it for Norris last night. Norris, yes, Charles Spooner. Right, from September 8, 1942 to March 7.
You're frightened.
Yeah.
When is it 1842? I was like, what?
1942. That was the same year I think Dr. Job was born, actually. So his service is taking place in New York, in Utica Avenue, Brooklyn, New York, on March 20th. And then they'll be bringing his body back to Trinidad and Tobago for interment. All right? So Charlie Spooner. I know a lot of people would know the name. of his passing. Also, what do I have? Who birthdays do I have? Let me get that out.
Condolences to his family. Condolences to the Spooner family.
Yeah.
From the Breakfast Show.
Yes. Of course. My birthdays today are Sherma Wilson today. Sherma birthday. Sherma's happy birthday, my darling.
Happy birthday, Sherma.
Yeah. Happy, wonderful person. Ricardo, Dennis, Natasha, Amor, Marsh O'Brien was yesterday. Right. Those are the 3 birthdays I have today. March 12th. All right. So special birthday greetings to Sherma Wilson today. All right. That's my greetings, I think, for the morning. Yeah. Richard, you didn't lie, you know. About my visit to public health to City Hall yesterday. I was amazed at how many people pleasantly remembered us. Harper and I went, of course, right? The other person didn't go, but in any event, he will get his food badge. But Harper and I went. Well, more people remember Harper because Harper used to make. I guess Harper spent only 3 years there, but you know he's a kind of saltfish too now. You know, so but we got a lot of help and we got through our food badges yesterday. In our one. Thank you very much to all the public health officers at the Port of Spain Corporation who assisted us yesterday. They were all, and I was observing them because, you know, I sit and observe, right? I was observing how they were treating with other people that came in. And I have to admit, I was impressed. I like to see public servants do their job and do it so willingly and always smiling and greeting people. Can I help you? Are you getting through? You know, things like that. I like to see that. And I saw that yesterday in the public health department. Thank you all so wonderfully very much. You know? Yeah. So we get through. They remember us.
But you were there for so long.
Yes, I was, but you know, I even though I spent 20 plus years in the corporation, you know. You remember I had a bad falling out with our public health department one time over my business. I was persona non grata for a lot of them because they saw me as, hey, how dare you, you know? And I took the corporation to court over some of their dealings. It caused the public health officer to resign back then. It was that bad. I had a bitter relationship with public health at one point in time. But thankfully, most of them, as I say, saw through my rights at that point in time and how I was being spited and how some people were being vindictive. So I didn't mix too much with the public health.
People are not vindictive in public office, are they, Wendell?
Yeah. Anybody celebrating a birthday today? Bonnet Bickford celebrated a birthday today.
Okay, happy birthday, Bonnet.
Richard, human beings are strange, you know. But as I say, I have always gotten in trouble. Maybe trouble is not the right word, but I've always stood up for my rights. I've always stood up for people. You understand? So I used to run afoul of organizations a lot because I didn't hesitate to speak. And you know why I got that way, Richard? Through radio, you know. I became like that through interacting on radio with you all, and I should say with you. Because you're the first person I worked with on radio, and since then it hasn't stopped. We've been going 20 plus years. So I learned a lot from you on how you saw things, you know? So that's why I stood up for people. It caused me to last long in institutions, but it also retarded maybe some of the progress that I could have made. Because you know, so it happens.
People like you sometimes to hush.
Yeah. I cool with that. You know what I mean? So I haven't regretted one day in that corporation. And people ask me how come I lasted that long? Because of my integrity, I believe, and because of the way I treated people. I got along with everybody except for that little period. Everybody I got along with. Yeah. So, but it was good. It was good interacting. It was good seeing them interact with people yesterday. You know, it was good. And one more thing before we jump out, of course. Last night a news article came out with a police officer doing an interview. A man went missing. can't remember his name now. I think I shared it in the chat. He went missing, and an elderly man and a police officer, TV6 was interviewing him, and he was, they had the man standing there, and he knew his name, but he didn't know where he was from, right? So the police, they were keeping him and putting an ad out to anybody. And of course, we spoke about this recently, right? Alzheimer's, people suffering from Alzheimer's and getting lost. And, well, the only thing is the TV6 made a mistake, and I commented on it, as I do, is that they focus too much on the police officer, not on the man who missing. You know what I mean? And but he was, I saw the deputy mayor, former deputy mayor, Hilan Morin, commented in the same chat that he was he got safely home. He is from Sogren Trace in Laventille, apparently, and his family saw it or found him or whatever. You know, so families only be mindful of members who are going through that stage in their life, a stage that it can't be helped. There's no reversing of it. There's no fixed it. It progressively
Say yet now.
Yet. Richard is the eternal optimist. But there's no cure for it yet. That's Alzheimer's, right? Dementia, right? There's no cure for it, and it gets progressively worse. Please read the signs in your family members and keep an eye on them. And probably, if you could, put a tracking device on them in the form of a chain or a watch or something that they always like to wear that you could track. Please do it. Please do it so that we don't have these lost children is enough, but lost adults, they get totally disoriented and confused because they think they know where they are. This happened to a former counselor. I don't know if you all remember the story that went viral. To a former counselor, and he got lost in the United States. And he went abroad there to visit his family, and he got lost there, and they didn't find him for days until eventually he was found at a hospital. That caused a panic to plenty of people, the local government fraternity who knew him, because he spent a lot of years there, and of course to his family in St. James. This was big news back in the day, you know. Thankfully, he's back home and he's all right. You know what I mean? But it happens. It happens to more people than you think. You know?
Yeah.
So, yeah. Just be mindful of that, please.
The human brain. But you know, there are drugs now that could kind of delay it and stuff like that. I think which Dr. Mirage did mention.
Yes.
You know,
yes.
to manage it better. You know, rather than just accept, you know. So when you see first signs and stuff, don't just think that it's an accepted part of growing old. There are things you can do, you know.
Yeah, I know that. Yeah, and we did speak with Dr. Nicholas Maraj, right?
Yeah.
You know, every now and then we need to have him back because, as I say, we didn't touch on
Parkinson's with parents and stuff like that right now.
Yeah.
So many people are dealing with parents, and it's stressful.
It is.
It is very stressful, and they go through a whole thing. Sometimes you know, sometimes they can get violent.
Yes.
They get paranoid. They see people stealing their money and their jewelry and all that sort of thing.
Yes.
They lose money. So sometimes when you go searching, you find hordes of cash all over the place.
Because they hide it.
Yeah, because they hide it, and then they think somebody has stolen it.
Yes.
They like to lock up the house late at night, making sure everything is locked. Remember, Dr. Mirage talked about that.
Yes.
Yeah, you have all those sorts of things that take place, and people battle with it. You have to monitor them. Somebody has to always be monitoring them, you know. So to people who are, you know, facing that challenge, we understand what you're going through, and hopefully, you know, science moves rapidly in finding a way to reverse it and stuff like that. But of course, a lot of it is taking care of your mental health now. You know.
Yeah. And reading a lot helps. Watching shows that jogs your memory help. So like a lot of these game shows on TV, watching them and trying to solve it before the person. All of those things help. It helps the brain keeps active. You know what I mean? Exercising a lot helps too. You know what I mean? But it's something that is a program again that we are going to continue to do. I think, because as I say, we have an aging population now. A lot of people are living a lot longer. You know what I mean? So the challenges are real, absolutely real. You know, and it could be frightening sometimes. You know, especially when a loved one goes missing because they don't know where they are. You know.
What? That must be so scary. Yeah? Could you imagine, Wendell, you driving from Arima to St. James, and somewhere around Curep, or you enter Port of Spain, and then all of a sudden you just don't know where you're going?
Mm-hmm.
Could you imagine that?
Yeah.
And everything just starts to look strange, and you just don't know where you're going.
Yeah.
That's scary.
It is. It is. It is. It is. It is.
You know, it's.
Yeah.
It's certainly not good news. So, which we should get to now.
Yeah. Oh, before I have a next birthday. You know our boss is listening, right? So today is also Cass' birthday. So you have to play a Cass.
Today's birthday. Okay.
Cass' birthday.
Hey, happy birthday, Cass. We should give him a call.
Yeah, we should call Cass.
Yeah, say happy birthday, Cass.
Yeah. I think I suspect we closer to Cass than that person.
Actually, boss is across the number.
Boss, send Cass number now. Boss.
We send a
Cass number first.
Yeah.
Or hook up a three-way call now first. You call him and then call us.
Yeah, all that good.
Yeah. Because you might want to share the number now. You know, people like like to claim ownership, right?
Exclusivity.
Yeah, exclusivity. That's the word I'm looking for, Switcher.
Yeah. All right, good news, people.
Good news. We doing it today?
What?
It's Samantha, and we're outside Central Bank Auditorium. And tonight, it's pure madness because RSR Productions just launched their first theatrical play for 2026.
Scandal in Cedros.
And listen, they say when love, money, sex, and juice mix, expect trouble. And we're asking the crowd, was it worth the scandal to come?
Scandal in Cedros. Boy, the place gone mad. Juice and woman and drug, the mixture real bad. When passion meet money and secrets unfold, it's fire in Cedros and heads down to roll.
Okay, people. So it have laughs, it have scandal, it have confusion, and apparently it have juice that guilty too. Can you really play 1 out of 10 for me, please?
10 out of 10. 11 out of 10. I'll give it a 9.5.
I would say, yeah, it's a 9.
10 out of 10.
10?
10.
Oh, yeah, 10.5. Yeah.
Love it. Can you tell us who was your best actor or actress?
Well, I have no favorite at all. We always are good fans and always follow all of Richard's plays, so it's always been a fun time to be here.
All of them were excellent, but Deborah.
Oh, Deborah for sure.
Yeah, Deborah took the cake as
Deborah
well.
for sure.
Spanish lady. No, the girl, Paloma.
Okay. What's the best part so far?
I mean, everything about Tina.
Everything about Tina?
Spanish.
Spanish girl? Paloma.
Calvin.
Yeah. Okay, great. Richard, love it.
What's the girl?
The secret agent.
I mean, for me, everything was good and it was really fun. And the thing about it, they kind of relate to some of the jokes that were given in between.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's so many favorite parts. What can I say?
The actual gunplay on the boat.
Okay, so can you just complete this to me? Scandal in
Cedros.
Cedros.
Nice. All of them from Cedros. So it's Scandal in. If you want a night of pure laughs and pure confusion, come and see it. And remember, in Cedros, nothing innocent, not even juice. I'm Samantha, and we're out.
Scandal in Cedros.
Well, thank you for that, Sir Charles. I was pleasantly surprised.
Well, I want our listeners and viewers to look up the word nepotism. When you get a chance, look up.
Oh Lord.
Joe, back in the seat when I see that started, I was like, hey.
Yeah, I saw I saw I'll push it up. Say, hey, well, this is a nice piece of good news here, because I mean, like, you know, laughter is good for your soul, you know.
Yeah,
It is good for your health too.
Actually, opening night, you know, I skirt around them when I see them and dive so and went the other direction.
You're right, that was opening night.
Yeah.
And then I had all the drinks and bacchanal and stuff, right?
And all the hors d'oeuvres and things. Yeah, man. Yeah. I remember at one point in time, she came and stood right in front of me and they were filming her. And I said, why? Because I go end up in the background of her. And I shifted. You understand? Because she was all over the place, doing these little videos, You know,
Samantha,
that was a nice night. Richard. I felt like I went out all inclusive, yes.
I know we had to San Fernando. I can't remember. We are in Naparima Bowl this weekend on Saturday and Sunday. Of course, Saturday at 8:30, Sunday at 6:30. Scandal in Cedrus. We are finally in South, so we're even closer to Cedrus. As you saw, there were a group of people from Cedrus there. So even closer to Cedrus on Saturday and Sunday. So Saturday at 8:30, Sunday at 6:30 at Naparima Bowl. And of course, the tickets are on sale at the Naparima Bowl box office from 12 noon to 6 p.m. daily. And of course, the usual outlets, K Squared, Fashion, C3 Center, and Brentwood Mall, and Friends of Marabella by the Roundabout. Just 3 outlets we have when we're in South. So you can get the tickets at K Squared. Fashions in C3 Center if you're in San Fernando. If you're in Central Trinidad and want to come down south, K Squared Fashions in Brentwood Mall. And of course, those of you who are in Marabella, Friends of Marabella by the Roundabout is where you can get tickets. Yeah, so looking forward to a fun time in San Fernando this weekend. So, you know, so much people came, and I have to say thank you to all the people who came at Central Bank Auditorium. We had wonderful houses for the 4 nights we were there, because we were there for 2 weekends, and people came out in droves. Even one person, you know, came twice, Wendell, a former minister, came twice. Former.
Yeah.
Give me a little hint now.
No, was he a minister? Anyway, I'll tell you off the chat because it have too much macros in the stream.
Yeah.
Well, that's all right.
Let's bring the people in the chat, Wendell.
All right. Robert Allen came in first again at 11:58 p.m. Margaret Thomas, Valerie Mendoza, good morning. Manuela Peters, Odell Guy, Beefy Smith out there in Goodwood and Tobago, Apollonus, Eunice Dublin, Ava Smith also says, blessed morning, Richard Wendell and Sir Charles. Victor Phillip is in this morning. Marcia Rock, I think from Orlando, Florida. Diane on the net. Erica Charles, Kenny in Harlem. Robert Taylor, I hope you're all caffeinated. I'm still half asleep, but thrilled to be here. But I haven't had my coffee yet. Carol Guevara says, good morning. Hill Benj, Victor Phillip, the US is here for good. What does that mean? Good morning to the breakfast show. You saw that video with Donald Trump.
Good morning, Marlon Motley.
Threatening to nuke Iran, end them in one day, that they'll never be able to come back. You saw that video? Donald Trump. Donald Trump.
Is it real?
They've lost their Navy. They've lost their Air Force. They have no anti-aircraft apparatus at all. They have no radar. Their leaders are gone. And we could do a lot worse to one another. We're leaving certain things that if we take them out, or we could take them out by this afternoon, in fact, within an hour, they literally would never be able to build that country back. They've lost their Navy. They've lost.
Thank you, Sir Charles.
I feel my trackpad is giving a little.
That man is so dangerous. It's a shame, eh? Maria Cellier says good morning. Pamela O'Connor, Ozzy Molino, Deborah Noel Surrett also sends good morning. Looking forward to listen to us every morning. Nicola McNichols, Ambrose Blah out there in New York, Dave Gosain, Joyce Phillip. Okay, I don't know what system you're talking about, Victor. I know we live on Gael, I can see it. Boy Bidesi from DB, Gavin Frank, Debbie Modest, Carla Hercules, Merle McComey, Julia Samantha, Kurt Hope from Nashville, Tennessee, Kathy Ann Charles and Arlene in Bronxville, Wayne Ramsey from Fort Lauderdale, Rena Jennings from Petey Valley, Lester Cragwell, Trini Merle Kitchen in Oshawa, Ontario, Helen Prescott, Ingrid from Tucson, Arizona, Biznat Prasad, Margarita Chow, Carol Guevara is saying happy birthday to Vonnet. Victor is saying condolences. Margarita Chow, good morning to the breakfast crew. Brent Hackshaw, good morning, gentlemen. Richard M. Jeremiah also sends good morning, and the love is massive. Scorpion Pepper, good morning, sunshines. Brent Hackshaw said they saw you there, Wendell, so his best behavior. Actually, none of those public health officers would have been public health officers 20 years ago when my fallout with them happened. They're all brand new. A lot of young people and doing an excellent job in public health. Happy birthday, Vonnet from Scorpion Pepper. Brent. Oh, well, I always, Brent, you know me by now, right? I always praise and I criticize. I have no hesitation in doing either. Sherma Paul, good morning, guys. Carlisle Cupid, James Kamau from Diego Martin, I guess. CJ from New York, good morning, everyone. Have a fantastic weekend. Weekend already. CJ, what's going on with you? Sankofa says bountiful graces. Estelita Sampson says good morning. Wendell, I feel you. I am same, always trying to fix and help everyone. I know that for sure, Miss Sampson. Carlisle Cupid, the global oil market continues to be volatile with another surge in prices inspired by shipping insurance subsidies by Trump and strategic oil releases by the IEA. That remains a challenge, all right? Scorpion Pepper, happy birthday, Kess, Paul Vonnet and Kess. Did we get Kess' number yet, all? Kim Govaya says a very good morning to all. He didn't take me on. Chris Toussaint, morning. I hope Richard pay for that ad. You pay for it in advance. Sadko for say Richard. Oh, late. Richard on the point you so. All right, let me get
this is the same thing. The same message came back.
Yeah, the same message came back. Cantankerous Texter, that's a brand new name. Morning, he's locked on. David McCarthy also says top of the day. Ron DeSantis Jr., good morning to Charles. Did you get my video text? Charles, Ron is asking if you got something from him. What a mess created by Donald Trump, so says Carlisle Cupid. Sankofa say greetings from Sankofa. There's not us. You greeted us already, you know. We're going on with this today. And Michael Eastman says good morning. All right, those are the greetings on the chat.
All right, so let's go across to the WhatsApp. Ingrid out in Arizona was here also. Zena, good morning to you. Captain Ron, have a great day. Peter Wilson, good morning. Chris A. Hussein, good day. Archbishop Ashton Clark, Vincent Ashton, good morning to you also. Carlin and Kelly out in Carnage. Mr. Beep, Mark, good day to you. Kent in Laventille. And of course, CJ out there in New York. Everybody's locked on. Gal family, good day to you. So let's take that break and come back because we're running a little bit behind time this morning.
For God shall wipe away, yes, sir, every tear from their eye. Yes, sir. Get ready.
TNT, get ready for Kirk Franklin in concert. Prisoners No More. We meet at the Queen's Park Oval on March 21st for an unforgettable evening of revival and renewal with Kirk Franklin and his full band.
Revolution. Come on, do you want a revolution?
And Trinbago's top gospel artist, Jaron Nurse, Gates Praise, Blessed Messengers in Anthony's Music Ministry, and Darren Sandy. Early bird tickets are sold out. General, kids, VIP, group, and cabana tickets available at excesstix.com. Hacker restaurants nationwide, Maranatha bookstores, Living Water Community, Santa Rosa Bookshop, Arima, St. Anthony's, RC Church, Point Fortin, Sky 99.5 FM, CNC3, and the Big Board Company are the official media partners. Endorsed by Catholic TT and the Ministry of Culture and Community Development. Kirk Franklin is coming to TNT.
Scandal in Cedrus is coming to San Fernando, and it is hilarious. Coming from sold-out houses in Port of Spain, this is the play that has audiences in stitches. 2 nights only at Naparima Bowl, Saturday the 14th of March at 8:30 p.m. and Sunday the 15th at 6:30 p.m. Box office at Naparima Bowl opens from Monday, March 9th, 12 noon to 6 p.m. daily. Tickets also available at K-Square Fashion C3 Center and Brentwood Mall in Chagonas. Tickets also available at Friends of Marabella by the Roundabout. Scandal in Cedrus, the comedy event of the year.
Save more now at Furniture Plus. Get a pair of pillows for only $49, queen mattresses from $7.99, free gifts with select purchases, plus extra discounts on higher purchase plans. Hurry, visit any Furniture Plus showroom today.
S&H Rumbox, 137 Western Main Road, St. James, for all your retail and wholesale needs for alcohol and non-alcoholic beverages. Call us at 686-0599 or visit us at 137 Western Main Road, St. James. S&H Rumbox, drinking out of the box.
2 fat fellas goes to San Fernando. Heading south.
2 fat fellas comes to Sapa for 2 nights only. Saturday 14th and Sunday 15th March. 2 nights only.
2 fat fellas stars: Cecilia, Penny, Kevon, Zachary, Rachel, and Roy. Tickets available at Dorman Shoe Store along Circular Mall, K-Square Stores, Eastgate Mall, Brentwood Plaza, Applebee's by the Park. All Southern Food Basket locations. Sapa box office opens on Friday the 13th and islandetickets.com. For more info on 683-4843.
2 fat fellas, Sapa. 2 nights only.
Advertise with us on New Era TT Radio, the fastest growing streaming platform for talk in Trinidad and Tobago. Audio and video ads welcome. Elevate your brand with us. Connect with us at newerattradio@yahoo.com or call us at 299-5156. Now what are you waiting for?
Yeah, so South has a busy weekend of theatre, as you would have just seen. So not only do you have Scandal in Cedrus in Naparima Bowl, you also have 2 fat fellas in Sapa. So you have one in Naparima Bowl and one in Sapa, and I always say support live theatre. Support live theatre wherever it happens. Yeah.
I agree. I've never regretted going to theatre, Richard. I have to tell you.
Yeah.
I've never regretted started going. I always enjoyed. And your vocal cords must be have taken a beating over the years, because theatre is not mic'd. A lot of people, I don't realize my camera off. Theatre is not mic'd. You understand? It's people projecting their voices, which is why the place is always so quiet, except when Zena and Charmaine there. You understand?
Well, sometimes some theaters will have overhanging mics. You're not mic'd personally, and some will have some mics to the front, like especially like in a place like Napa, you tend to have overhanging mics or mics to the front.
So far away from the stage.
Yeah, so it helps amplify the sound, but you're not personally mic'd, no.
Yeah. That's a feature of theater I always admire. I always admire that.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's get into the newspapers today. Today's Express have tons of stories. Torso found near JFK, man charged with killing of Trini woman. It says a Trinidadian man has been charged with murdering 34-year-old Salisha Ali, a mother of 3, who had traveled to the United States in search of a better life. Missing man found alive. Police seek woman 33. Now, this story is not the story that I read earlier. This is another elderly gentleman who went missing, 86 years old, and he was found in the bushes by his relatives, close to his home. So this is another story about the same type of incident that an elderly person went missing. Central Block gets new reopening date, and that's the Central Block at the Port of Spain General Hospital. Cost of travel card system withheld. That's the launch of the travel card system took place yesterday. QREP class driver.
Wait. Sorry. What do you mean by travel card system? What do you mean by that?
Richard, I don't know. Maybe I could get it. Let me click on the story a bit. Apparently, everything now is online, so says Homeland Security Minister Roger Alexander. It says, while the launch of Trinidad and Tobago's online arrival and departure card system is set to take effect within days, government officials refused to disclose the cost of the initiative yesterday, instead opting to focus on the benefits the platform was expected to bring to travelers. The digital system will replace the country's traditional paper-based immigration forms. And based on what I read, it's really the same form you're filling out online, which Gary Griffith had a problem with. And maybe they need to simplify it. You can't replace, you're replacing paper basically with the same information online.
Yeah, which is dumb.
Yeah?
Which is kind of dumb.
Yeah.
You should make it even more seamless. Because bigger countries that have more threats than you have it very simple. In addition, which we always talk about, Wendell.
Yeah.
What you have somebody standing up asking you what you're bringing in for, we should have a de minimis system. And you already scanning luggage as it's coming in anyway. Just allow people to pass. And if you figure that there is some intelligence to stop somebody, or you're doing random stops, you can say, okay, maybe see what you have, sir. Whatever. But the majority of people just leave.
Yeah.
Instead of having to be in a line, or in a green line or a red line or whatever it is.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
A lot of those big international airports don't do that anymore.
Some of the other smaller airports don't do it anymore.
Yeah, you just leave. They will just, if they figure they need to be checked, they will check you, but otherwise you just allow most people to leave.
Yeah.
Why is that so difficult to accomplish?
I don't know, Richard, but the cost they're talking about is not the cost to you, the consumer, it's the cost that the government paid. And Homeland Security Minister answered it this way. Because of the security involved, listen to this, this is real brain matter, you know. Because of the security involved, we don't want to discuss the cost at this time. However, there cannot be a cost attached to improving the quality of life of citizens. So I want you to keep that in mind. Roger Alexander, stay away from the media. Tell you that already. Other stories trending. Amy Brown, PM must explain U.S. coalition. Video shows woman flung in hit-and-run accident. Kamala back after U.S. summit. WPC in hospital. Driver arrested after crash. 5 masked men carry out violent Cunupia home invasion. Bandits strike again in San Fernando amid state of emergency. Home invasion, chaos, security officer charged with obstruction. Those are all trending.
The driver that was arrested, was that the video we showed yesterday?
Yes. With the guy with the licensing officers?
No. It said WPC injured and crash driver arrested.
Yeah, that is down the hill there. Yeah, that one.
It was that accident?
It was that accident.
Oh, okay.
What? Which one?
The one where the police was on the other side of the road.
They arrested that driver?
Huh?
They arrested that driver?
Yes, apparently he had no driver's license and no insurance.
Oh, okay. I thought it's because of the accident.
Yeah, no, well, you know, because of that now you can get wrong because you have no right being on the road.
Well, exactly. He wrong.
Yeah.
Can I do the Trinidad Garden? You all still feel to come?
You can.
Thank you. All right. Why U.S. the Trinidad and Tobago Guardian for today? Why U.S. troops still here? Opposition parties in Tobago demand answers. Concerned island could suffer fallout from Iran war. Alexander Mum on U.S. persons of interest list after counter-cartel meeting. TNT moves the digital immigration forms, but government won't give cost now. Minister authorities investigating bomb threats. Al-Rawi questions why Alexander needs U.S. list to identify. FCB's deputy CEO resigns, and that's Nila Munilal Kissoon has resigned as Group Deputy CEO, Operations and Administration of the First Citizens Group. Atlantic LNG appoints Mutilal as chairman. Aventa tells staff it got no special treatment on payments. NGL confirms resumption of dividends. Analysts Chevron interest not surprising. And that's basically it.
All right.
Just want to see this story. Homeland Security Minister Roger Alexander is assuring that authorities are investigating reports of bomb threats, the latest coming against a cargo plane that left the country recently. Addressing questions posed by the media at the end of the launch of the online arrival and departure platform at the Star Sea Waterfront Ministry yesterday, Alexander said there is a level of intelligence involved and all he could say was the threats are being investigated. He said that bomb threats are a normal thing, inverted commas. You know it is a normal thing. Some people just get their phone and make threats. There was one that was existing, that at Rio Claro. Remember that? So we are treating with that. Everybody listen, realize what is really going on out there, and intelligence is helping us tremendously, both local, regional, and international. Okay. All right, so that's it for the Trinidad and Tobago Guardian this morning.
You have to read what Alexander said that way?
How? What way?
Well, if nobody else picked it up, I picked it up.
No, I didn't do anything.
Okay.
Trinidad and Tobago Guardian. So I suppose you could go straight to, as we were behind time, you could go straight into, did you know, Sir Charles?
Am I the only one that didn't know that Frank Sinatra was a big ally to the Black community? Now, I knew all about his relationship with Sammy Davis Jr. and the Rat Pack, but his relationship to the Black community is way deeper. So during his time, Las Vegas was heavily segregated, but any restaurant that did not serve Black people, Frank wouldn't eat at. Any hotel that would not allow Blacks to stay, Frank wouldn't stay there. He was also one of the first musicians to ever allow Black people to play in his band, and he paid them equally. Goes even further than that. He was a big advocate for the civil rights movement, and he even financially backed Martin Luther King. Frank's mom, Dolly Sinatra, also had strong political views, and a lot of his way of thinking came from his mother. I think this is incredible. I think this is a dope story. I can't believe I had never heard this before. And this was during the 40s and the 50s. So to be an ally during those times, you really had to stand on it. It really had to mean something to you. And Frank was the man. So if he didn't stay at your establishment or if he didn't eat at your restaurant, that meant something. Because of his actions, Las Vegas was one of the first cities to become integrated. Man, this is a dope story to me. Shout out to Frank Sinatra. Shout out to everyone that he supported. This is incredible. Old Blue Eyes was that guy.
All right, and at this point, we can open up the lines, 2811813. I always am sure. 1315. I'm always unsure of that number. So I always kind of say it tentatively. It's not ingrained in my brain yet. 2811315, 2811315, or 299-5156. 299-5156. We're opening up our lines as we head to 7 a.m. and the news is on the hour. Of course, in the next hour, we'll be speaking to Commander Dindial on what's taking place, I suppose, globally and in Trinidad and Tobago with regard to, some of the measures, the shield of the Americas. What's his opinion on what's taking place globally, militarily, because I know that has a lot of the world concerned. I mean, tourism in the Middle East is probably at a standstill right now.
Yeah.
It's just a big pause button just was hit.
Unless that is your wish. Your wish is to be in a war-torn place. And some people have that wish, Richard. They want to be in that middle of that action,
Well, Well, I guess that there are some humans like that, but but generally tourism will be on a big pause, and the Middle East is a big area for tourism. So a lot of stuff going on globally, and now we have the shield. So he'll be weighing in on all of that. But we're taking your calls now, so you don't have to hear us talk the entire morning without interacting with us. So 2811315 or 2995156. I wonder who'll be the first person to call.
Let's go. Good morning.
Morning, gentlemen. How you guys?
Good morning,
Captain Ron. Good morning.
Yeah. I first of all, I hope y'all didn't believe that propaganda from Donald Trump. Please tell me y'all didn't believe that.
Was it AI?
Yeah, no, he's just running his mouth because he's in the mode of trying to get. He wants to get out. He's looking for a way out. So he's trying to make it. You ever heard of anybody begging another country to surrender? If I'm winning you, I don't have to beg you to surrender. You will just surrender. Iran said they're not surrendering, and they'll fight to the last man. And Iran hasn't lost anything like how he's claiming. Right now they're bombing. America is bombing schools and all kind of businesses with civilian people. All right. So that's what's going on. But next tone, I want to say something. So Charles, this is really for you. I'm trying my best to put it the best way I could, because wherever I go, I try to introduce people from all walks of life, from everywhere in the world, to this radio station. All right. Yesterday, I had to tell that guy, Mr. Penal, he's talking nonsense. Anybody who's talking against black people, I have a problem with. When he's trying to make it look like because of slavery, black people gets into trouble. That's what he said. Now, people in Ethiopia, friends in Ethiopia, called me and asked me, why are they having this guy talking that nonsense on the radio? People, this station is an international station now, all right? And people from all walks of life listening. And then you have this incompetent guy in New York is going to call and say, Mr. Princetown, and I should apologize. I will never apologize to somebody who's racist and speaking nonsense. All right, so Charles, with all due respect with you, from this day forward, I will not be listening to your show from 10 o'clock. And I think that is why the other guy, Mr. Hotham has stopped calling because of that guy in New York and what's going on as well. Anyway, but y'all keep up the good work. I'll be listening to this morning breakfast show. He also said the breakfast show is a bunch of angry people. I can't even believe what I heard. So Charles, come on, man. Anyway, you guys have a good day.
Have a good day, Captain Ron.
I was confused. I was like, did that happen with the show yesterday? Because I could remember it,
No, and I don't know why Captain Ron feels that he has to bring everything else on the platform here. Go back up in that space and deal with it.
No, but what he said in the end there is probably why he brought it here. So Mr.
This is not the first time that he has brought stuff from the other areas here, I don't know why he likes bringing it here. It's coming up on the program there. And let me tell you what happens in the mid-morning. People they bring their opinions to talk about stuff, and you know what? People challenge it right there, and they deal with it right there on the shows. I don't know why he feels that all the things that he says here, he could say it right there too, and deal with it one time. That is what everybody does. They challenge each other, and that's a dynamic of the show.
Right, but I think why he said it here is because of what he said last. That the breakfast show is a bunch of angry men. That somebody say that?
I didn't hear that. You understand?
Angry people? That's what somebody said?
Yeah. So I
went there because
yeah, but if you want to challenge it, if you to challenge it there, where people can respond to you there, you understand?
You are the host.
But something wrong with Mr. Penal, Charles. I don't want the program to get derailed there. But something wrong with that man.
Who's the host?
Yeah. Yeah.
Who's the host?
Richard, Sir Charles just take a call and doing all kind of other thing, and people is just be talking and something. Now he don't even know what Penal saying.
That is not so. That is not so. Anyhow, call a good morning to you.
But he's been banned from so many other places. I'm not surprised. I don't know how you all entertain him. I'm sorry.
I agree 100% with Captain Ron.
Why you agreeing?
Charles,
You heard the program?
I agree with him.
Did you listen to the program, Mr. Martin?
Listen, Sir Charles. Don't try to throw me off.
I'm asking you a question because you're agreeing.
You always want to defend that Captain Ron go to the head of the class this morning because that is what Penal does. That Penal man. You know, I just wonder. He was banned on I-95 radio once, like all you don't know. I just wonder, that man was a teacher. I wonder what he used to tell African children. I remember once he calling on that program.
Yeah, but Mr. Martin, in all due respect, I mean, you want to take our breakfast show in a different direction. That because of Captain Ron opening up a can of worms, and you just jumping on it also.
Right.
You know, Wendell, I think you need to change your morning poll.
Because he calling y'all, he will call. A long time I hear him call here, but he going on bad talk. He say, what you calling for? What you calling for? He's a racist.
Mr. Martin, you can't be calling people racist and things. And that's the problem.
Calling somebody racist is not derogatory. But what I'm saying is that maybe we should ask Paul, do you think the breakfast show is a bunch of angry people?
That's a Friday poll. That's not a Thursday poll.
Oh, God. Like that.
I'm not feeling angry enough this morning to have that poll.
Our program could never be described as angry. We laugh so much times this morning.
Well, good morning to you.
Maybe you have to curate the morning show a little bit more, Sir Charles.
I understand the time that she's back from the summit, so I am expecting to hear from her as to what are the benefits that will accrue to this country. And also, you see, when I said yesterday that in these press conferences, they have the low-level or ministers giving these press conferences, and when you ask them questions, they cannot answer or would not answer. And the latest thing now is against national security, so we can't answer. These things I find disgusting. So I hope we would have some improvement going forward from the time.
Yeah, thanks, Simon. You know, Gary Griffith, as I said, wrote something on the issue of that departure arrival card that I agreed with. There's a simpler system. We don't need to replace a physical form with a form on the same form online. We don't need to replace it. You know what I mean? There are simpler systems. You go to Jamaica, you do the form 72 hours prior to departure, and you just literally walk through Jamaica airport and you're out. You understand?
They're catering for tourism and we are not. So we always like to create hurdles and give people a walk to stand up and say, you have anything to declare? You fill out your form. I ain't seen it digitally.
Yeah.
Caller, good morning.
We tried a system here already. I don't know if you all remember.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Sorry, after the caller, I'll say it. Go ahead, caller.
You know, I was the person yesterday who was asked to apologize for Mr. Pinal for telling him that he was speaking nonsense. Now, I know nonsense is a legitimate word. And the point I was making, I have been calling for years. I try not to offend people's heritage and the culture. And I am very passionate about defending mine. So on occasions, you would find me using language and saying, well, look, this is nonsense. And I don't think I should apologize for that. And strange enough, just like Captain Ron's comment, I had a similar sentiment. I thought, well, wait now, why should I continue to call this program if I can make a strong point when somebody objects to something I say in a very derogatory manner, basically? You know, and I feel I will still continue to call, but I think I need to make the point that people who express themselves like Mr. Pinal are much more offensive to the public than people like me who might use a legitimate word as nonsense, you know. And I make no apologies for defending my heritage and my integrity on the radio. And I've never been banned. And it was very uncomfortable yesterday, you know, to be asked to apologize to somebody with a reputation like that. And I particularly take offense to that, you know, and I just wanted to make that point. Thank you, Captain Ron, and thank you, Mr. Martin, for the support that you have offered to me this morning. I'll just end by saying this, Mr. Pinal, in defending, I'll use the word altercation with Wendell, suggested that black people would have gotten work in banks eventually, in spite of what Mr. Granger did. So from my perspective, he was taking a position that black people should sit down and wait until white people chose to employ them in banks rather than agitate for employment, knowing that many of them had the qualifications to work in such banks, you know. And I think that and all was offensive. You know? So have a good day, gentlemen.
Yeah.
I will continue to call you Sir Charles, but I don't think a caller should be put in the position that I was put in yesterday. So thanks again, Captain Ron.
Yeah.
And I'll see you later, Sir Charles.
No problem, because I didn't put you in that position. That was a suggestion from another caller. You understand? So
that he apologized for saying the word nonsense.
You know what I mean? So, but it wasn't me or this. I'd ask you to apologize for what was being said.
Listen,
you know?
I want to give the callers some free advice. Do not let people like Mr. Pinal, because there are others like him, chain all you up so much that all you lose all your sense of reasoning, because majority of our people here are very sensible, very how I should put it, articulate and very cooperative in terms of their contributions. Don't let people like Mr. Pinal change all you. As a matter of fact, you only need to go to what scandal insidious or come down by Rumbox. That's what we promote on this breakfast show. We promote enjoyment, laughter, liming. You see that guy up in the top there? Watch him good. That one up in the corner, up on the top there. Yeah, that one there. You see?
God.
The whole day. Sometimes I just get intense about things, but he doesn't. And sometimes he will get intense about things, especially with Arima. But guess what? At the end of the day, we all smile and laugh. And we're doing this because we like Sir Charles. We love Sir Charles. And Sir Charles, nobody else could get us to do this for free for a year. Nobody else. You understand? So even though we may all err at times, trust me, we laugh at the end of the day. We laugh. And that's what we promote on this breakfast show. Any opinion is welcome as long as it doesn't disrespect anyone or anybody. Right? Good?
All right, so the morning poll.
Do you expect the new online arrival and departure forms to make traveling easier? Yes or no? That's our poll this morning. Do you expect the new online arrival and departure forms to make traveling easier? Yes or no? I think we need to look at what other countries do that make things easier as possible for people and start implementing some of that patronage. Is a kind of real conservative and backward in some ways, you know. It's annoying. This is me getting angry, by the way. It's annoying.
Richard, when the PNM was in power...
We'll wait for the news and come back.
All right, I'll see you when I come back.
The news you need, the clarity you deserve. Local, regional, global. This is Net Radio News Now.
This is News Now for Thursday, the 12th of March on New Era TT Radio and Dial Caribbean TV. I'm Derek McMillan. Good day, everybody. Government is moving to make Trinidad and Tobago's laws officially available online while keeping the traditional printed volumes. The change is contained in the Law Revision Amendment Bill 2026, piloted in the Senate by Saddam Hussein, Minister of Land and Legal Affairs. The legislation will allow electronic versions of the country's laws to be recognized as official, alongside the printed Red Book volumes currently used. Hussein said although many people already access laws online, those versions are not legally recognized under the current system. He said the move will make the laws easier to update and could save taxpayers millions of dollars spent printing the volumes overseas. Opposition Senator Faris Al-Rawi supported the bill but warned that legal risks must be carefully addressed. The government has launched an online immigration arrival and departure card system, replacing the long-standing paper forms used at Trinidad and Tobago's ports of entry. The platform, introduced by the Immigration Division of Trinidad and Tobago under the Ministry of Homeland Security of Trinidad and Tobago, allows travelers to complete their immigration declarations electronically before traveling. Passengers must access the government's portal at travel.gov.tt, create an account, and upload a photograph of the biodata page of their passport. Travelers can complete the form within 72 hours before arrival or departure. Once submitted, they will receive a digital receipt containing a unique code and QR code to present to immigration officers on arrival or departure. Homeland Security Minister Roger Alexander said the initiative is part of efforts to modernize the country's immigration system and improve efficiency at ports of entry. Fire officers are expressing strong dissatisfaction with government's 5% wage increase offer. President of the Fire Service Association of Trinidad and Tobago, Peony Guy, said members feel extremely disrespected by the proposal. Guy said the issue was discussed during a recent meeting with Chief Personnel Officer Norman Dindial, where the association rejected the offer. He said firefighters believe the increase does not reflect the economic realities and declining purchasing power experienced by officers over the past decade. Guy added that the association will submit a counter-proposal in the coming weeks as negotiations continue. The development follows a similar position by the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service Social and Welfare Association, whose president Ishmael Pitt also indicated the police body intends to reject the 5% wage offer. The Transport and Industrial Workers Union has denied that industrial action by employees is responsible for delays affecting bus services at the Public Transport Service Corporation depot in Port of Spain. The PTSC said disruptions on the Port of Spain to Arima route were linked to workers refusing to operate assigned services, shutting down some work areas, and engaging in go-slow actions. However, TYW President Sean Roberts said the union is unaware of any such industrial action and insisted relations with the corporation remain cordial. Roberts said the union is expected to meet with PTSC officials as negotiations continue. Meanwhile, commuters at the Citygate terminal reported long waits, with some buses arriving up to an hour later than scheduled. The Court of Appeal of Trinidad and Tobago says citizens may eventually be able to sue each other for breaches of privacy, although such claims are not currently recognized in law. Justices Mark Mohammed, Maria Wilson, and James Aboud raised the issue while ruling on a case involving two teenagers confronted in a bathroom at a Barrackpore shopping complex by landlord Christian Bastio. The court ruled the teens could not pursue a privacy claim because constitutional privacy rights presently apply only against the state, not private individuals. However, Justice Wilson noted that technological advances and the rapid spread of information online may eventually require courts or parliament to recognize privacy claims between citizens. In the case itself, the Court of Appeal overturned parts of a high court ruling and found that Basdio falsely imprisoned the teenagers and committed battery against one of them. He was ordered to pay $30,000 to the male student and $25,000 to the female student. In international news, 3 cargo vessels have been struck by projectiles in the Strait of Hormuz, raising tensions along one of the world's most important oil shipping routes. Maritime authorities say the incidents occurred near Oman and the United Arab Emirates as conflict between Israel, the United States, and Iran continues to escalate. Iran later acknowledged responsibility for one of the attacks after a Thai-flagged cargo ship caught fire north of Oman. All 23 crew members were rescued. A Japanese-flagged container ship and another cargo vessel also reported damage in separate incidents near the UAE. The UK Maritime Trade Operations has warned vessels transiting the area to exercise caution. Meanwhile, Iran has threatened to block oil shipments to the United States and Israel through the strait, through which about 20% of the world's oil supply normally passes. U.S. President Donald Trump has warned Tehran of severe consequences if shipping through the corridor is disrupted. And that's the main stories at this time.
That was News Now. Stay informed with New Era TT Radio, NETT Radio.
Your mid-morning just got better. Join Sir Charles for the mid-morning mix and mingle, where good music, real talk, health, and family matters come together, and your voice is heard. Whether you're at work, on the go, or just taking a break, this is the perfect mix to keep you engaged, informed, and entertained. The mid-morning mix and mingle, weekdays, 9 a.m. to 12 noon on New Era TT Radio, NETT Radio.
Morning vibes, fresh energy. This is the NETT Radio.
Get up, it's the time to start the day. The breakfast show is here. We bring in the soca way. Good morning. Good morning.
Scandal in Cedrus is coming to San Fernando, and it is hilarious. Coming from sold-out houses in Port of Spain, this is the play that has audiences in stitches. 2 nights only at Naparima Bowl. Saturday the 14th of March at 8:30 p.m. and Sunday the 15th at 6:30 p.m. Box office at Naparima Bowl opens from Monday, March 9th, 12 noon to 6 p.m. daily. Tickets also available at K-Square Fashion C3 Center and Brentwood Mall in Chagonas. Tickets also available at Fence of Marabella by the Roundabout. Scandal in Cedrus, the comedy event of the year.
Scandal in Cedrus.
Save more now at Furniture Plus. Get a pair of pillows for only $49, queen mattresses from $7.99, free gifts with select purchases, plus extra discounts on higher purchase plans. Hurry, visit any Furniture Plus showroom today.
For God shall wipe away, yes sir, every tear from their eye. Yes sir. Get ready.
TNT, get ready for Kirk Franklin in concert. Prisoners No More. We meet at the Queen's Park Oval on March 21st for an unforgettable evening of revival and renewal with Kirk Franklin and his full band. And Trinbago's top gospel artists, Jaron Nurse, Gates Praise, Blessed Messenger, St. Anthony's Music Ministry, and Darren Sandy.
But there is no sunshine.
Early bird tickets are sold out. General, kids, VIP, group, and cabana tickets available at xstix.com. Hacker restaurants nationwide, Maranatha bookstores, Living Water Community, Santa Rosa Bookshop, Arima, St. Anthony's, RC Church, Point Fortin, Sky 99.5 FM, CNC3, and the Big Board Company are the official media partners. Endorsed by Catholic TT and the Ministry of Culture and Community Development. Kirk Franklin is coming to TNT.
S&H Rumbox, 137 Western Main Road, St. James, for all your retail and wholesale needs for alcohol and non-alcoholic beverages. Call us at 686-0599 or visit us at 137 Western Main Road, St. James. S&H Rumbox, drinking out of the box.
2 fat fellas goes to San Fernando. Heading south.
2 fat fellas comes to Sapa for 2 nights only. Saturday 14th and Sunday 15th March. 2 nights only.
2 fat fellas stars: Cecilia, Penny, Kevon, Zachary, Rachel, and Roy. Tickets available at Dorman Shoe Store along Circular Mall, K-Square Stores, Eastgate Mall, Redwood Plaza, Athletes by the Park. All Southern Food Basket locations. Sapa box office opens on Friday the 13th and islandetickets.com. For more info, 683-4843.
2 fat fellas, Sapa, 2 nights only.
Advertise with us on New Era TT Radio, the fastest growing streaming platform for talk in Trinidad and Tobago. Audio and video ads welcome. Elevate your brand with us. Connect with us at newerattradio@yahoo.com or call us at 299-5156. Now what are you waiting for?
I want to know.
Oh, you come off of the studio.
I don't know. I just say that's what's going on.
No, I said because you were right here, and normally you just pause in between this stuff. I don't know how you get backstage. And I'm concentrated on the other things on the other computer, so it's only now that are coming back here. I said, but wait now, he backstage.
Yeah, that's all right.
Yeah.
I get a little echo,
right,
right, Charles?
All right, hold on.
Yeah. All right. Hello. Right. No, it's still there. Right. Hello.
Yeah,
right,
it should be better now.
Right. So our poll this morning is: do you expect the new online arrival and departure forms to make traveling easier? Yes or no? Of course, an online form was launched yesterday. An in-depth review into it was done by Gary Griffith. So that's how I did the poll, based on his interpretation of what he saw. But as I say, these things are not rocket science. The PNM spent 9.5, well, let me say 10.
10 years.
Doing nothing. I remember they had brought in these machines, these arrival machines. I don't know if people know they're still in the air. I think they're still in the airport somewhere. But I used to see them because I traveled plenty. Paul Richards and I used to talk about it a lot in the morning. You remember? The Edmund Dillon was National Security Minister, and these machines were brought into the airport and never used. They never went into operation. I don't know where they are. I don't know if they're collecting dust somewhere, or if they're using as a vendor stall somewhere. You understand? But they did nothing, and I didn't see why people who travel as often as some of these government ministers would take so long to do something. So I can't say kudos yet to the UNC, but for at least for the machine, because I don't know how this system is going to work. I haven't traveled. I'm going to be traveling soon enough, so I'm going to get to experience it. You understand? But at least they've tried something that nothing was done for so many years, right? So
you have to give them. You have to give them that. I agree with you.
Yeah.
That at least they're trying to make things, because the PNM are 10 years.
Yes, Richard.
10 years.
Yeah.
And nothing.
Nothing. You know.
So kudos to the UNC. At least you're seeing some level of progress.
Yeah.
Even if we may find it's not enough, but at least it's progress in that direction. So kudos to the UNC for that.
Yeah. And for those who travel to the United States and so on, there's absolutely nothing you have to do, except appear before an agent when you reach the airport and say, I'm staying so, I'm going so, I have so. Sometimes they don't ask you nothing. Enjoy your stay, sir.
Yeah, and then you collect your baggage. You collect your baggage, Wendell, and you walk straight out.
Straight out.
There are people monitoring you. You have anything to declare, go to the red line or the green line, and you fill out your paper. It had nothing like that. You just walk.
Nothing. Walk out. And that's the United States of America I'm talking about. To go to Jamaica, you have a form 72 hours prior to departure. You have a form you fill out. When you reach Jamaica, you go in a line. They still ask for your vaccination card in Jamaica. The yellow fever card. If you don't have that, they still basically just ask you a couple questions and you walk through. When you go through, you go to a machine, you're punching certain things, a slip comes out, and you're basically walking out the airport after that.
All right, guys, let's do the morning poll because our guest is backstage.
Oh, shucks. I forget we have a guest. Kelcha Cambridge said no. You're writing? Who writing?
Yeah, I'm writing. Go ahead.
Oh, yeah. I was unprepared a little bit to write this. So sorry. Yes,
you haven't done it for so long.
Yes.
Kelcha Cambridge says no. St. James, the just spiritual. Ooh, look at that name. No. Trinidad Margo, yes. Victor Phillip, no. Ava Smith, no. Helen Prescott, no. Marlon Motley, no. Rena Jennings, no. Suzanne Jessup, no. Melchizedek, no. Gregory Boyer, no, if it's the same form. Diane Payne, no. James Kamau, no. Other comments here on what we were discussing before, right? Jason Samuel, yes. Beauty Culture, yes. Another chat. Dave Gosai, no. Eunice Dublin, no. Real chat. Joseph Clement, yes. Finbar Collins, no. Carla Hercules, yes. Keith Clark says yesterday was his birthday. Ingrid from Tucson says yes. Keith Clark says yes. Nicola McNichols, yes. Magic, yes. You all need to bring back Amanda. Note, Margaret Thomas says no. Coltage Finch also says yes. Did I say that? Yes, yes. Boy Bidesi, yes. Dino Marat says the machines were operable for a short time. I didn't even know that. I never thought they worked. Eunice Dublin, yes. But thanks for that correction, Dino. Michael Grandison says yes. Oh boy. CJ says yes. Robert Allen says no. Crystal Stevenson, yes. This is a lot of chat. Wendell, how do you access the program after 8 a.m.? Just go back on YouTube and watch it. YouTube has it right through. Kurt Hope says yes. And Brent Hackshaw says no. Those are the votes I have on the chat.
Wow. All right. Okay. So let's see what the WhatsApp says. So we have Raymond saying no, Pauline saying yes, Captain Ron saying yes, Frank saying no, Archbishop Ashton Clark saying no, Peter Wilson saying yes, Sean Ram saying yes, Brent Black Pearl saying no, Afria saying no, Kenwin saying yes, you didn't vote, Brenda and Pinal saying yes, Rockaway saying yes. So
I have one more yes from Scorpion Pepper. Yes. Alistair Hart, I now realize what you're asking me, you know. How do you access the program? How do you get Sir Charles' program after we finish? I think you could only go on the NETT radio to get that, right, Sir Charles?
Yeah, you have to go on NETT. You have to go on www.newera.ttradio.com, and I'm going to simplify that for you guys just now. And also on TuneIn at New Era TT Radio.
Yeah, it's strictly radio then. It's not television or YouTube. It's strictly radio then.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Right. So on the poll this morning, 43 people on the poll. 22 of you said yes, and 21 said no.
Wow.
Before that last yes, it was even Steven.
And I want to tell people, if they notice, people who would generally not vote for anything this government did actually said, a lot of them said yes this morning. That they expect it to work. They'll make traveling easier. That's just an example of this particular show. Can't speak for any other show.
All right, let's get into our Let's Talk segment. That was the morning poll. Can you see the breakfast show?
Yeah. We have Commander Norman Dindial. Good morning, Commander.
Morning.
Thanks for
always a pleasure to be on your show.
Yeah, and thanks for joining us on the Breakfast Show this morning. We appreciate you taking the time. So we wanted to get your opinion. First of all, there's so much things going on, not only regionally, but of course globally, in terms of military operations that have the planet concerned. But the issue of the Shield of Americas, and that counter-trafficking, drug trafficking Shield of Americas, which is the coalition of about, I think, 13 countries and the United States. What's your take on it, and whether you think it will accrue any benefit to Trinidad and Tobago's fight against transnational crime?
So, Alec, morning again to the listeners and the viewers that you have out there, and it's always a pleasure to be on your show. And I'll be diving straight into it. As you said, the Shield of Americas. A lot of things that you people have to recognize is that the devil is in the details. So it is being proposed outside that this is against transnational crime and cartels of drugs, right? But if you read the document, I don't know if you guys have seen the document. The document was that President Donald Trump actually signed the proclamation that he actually signed, this is a purely military operation. It is for the military of the foreign nation to train the military of the host nation or the nations that have signed for them to counter cartels. Now, first of all, you have to understand what a cartel is and the designation of cartels. But this document has the President of the United States can designate the cartels. He can even designate foreign cartels as foreign terrorist organizations. The cartels, you can also designate cartels or cartels that are made up cartels too. These cartels that he had, the cartel of the sun, cartel de los soles, they still haven't found any nexus of the Maduro regime, of the old Maduro regime, as being part of the cartel de los soles. So we have to be careful of how we are allowing another nation to designate the cartels and also designate them as a foreign terrorist organization. But even more than that, it is purely a military organization. It's purely a military, action, because it's pure force. Nothing in the document maintains or has mentioned police, prosecution, the judicial part of it. So when we see Trinidad and Tobago getting involved, I don't know. I've been in law enforcement for the majority of my life, my whole adult life, and doing counter narcotics operation. And we have never designated anybody in Trinidad and Tobago as a cartel, because the cartel starts from the beginning. You have to understand it designates the cartel from the production of the illegal substance to the control of that illegal substance to the general distribution of it, the whole distribution network. And that network that the cartel has a system or systematic sort of militarization in it and a hierarchy in it that can move out and process. We have gangs in Trinidad and Tobago. I agree that we have a problem with crime and criminality, but we don't have a problem with cartels per se. Cartels, this is what we're saying. And then we have we have this document that is not bolstering our problems, where we have solving of murders, solving of crime, interdiction. Well, we have interdiction, but we have investigative processes. So we have problems. I'm not saying no, but when it comes to the cartel, the military is not used, because you can't have.
But the mere idea that we are transnational point, like several Caribbean countries, I think are transnational points for the distribution and, of course, the transport of drugs to whether it be Europe or the United States. Wouldn't there be cartel connections within the Trinidad and Tobago space?
So you would have drug mules, and we have been known to be a transshipment point. Long time. We have been a transshipment point, and no one can argue with that. But you have to understand that we already have a properly. So if we go back to past and previous administrations, we are supposed to already have a proper Coast Guard for border protection. We're supposed to have a air guard. Now they don't have any assets anymore. Like, I can't see why. We can discuss that after. But we have.
But we know why. That was scuttled by the PNM administration.
So I have seen it at both levels. So I've worked and straddled both administrations, and I would squarely put the responsibility on both administrations, the shoulders of both administrations, because I've seen it tit for tat, where one administration would purchase a certain vessel, and then because that administration purchased the vessel, and then another administration would come into governance, and they would not support that vessel because the other administration purchased it. And you see that happening both back and forth. And I've been part of it. I've been part of the Coast Guard. So I suffered it, and I saw it, and you would ask yourself the question, why? And the only answer would have been political, because you have an asset, you have a tool that can be used to secure your borders in Trinidad and Tobago. And we have a highly trained military. We have been training with the US for years, for decades. We've been training with the US. So we know how to protect our borders. We know we do not need the US to come in again and train us again or retrain us. We have the tools, but it would not help, because we have been doing this for years and years. Now, as I said, any analyst or even military officer would tell you that, we're doing the same thing over and over with the same results. The only thing differently with this piece of documentation it allows the United States to use deadly force. And we have seen what happened prior to the kinetic strikes in Venezuela, where it was framed in a particular way that it was about drug cartels. You're not seeing anybody striking any drugs anymore. You're not seeing any of those things. But this piece of legislation, or this coalition document, allows states to give the U.S. a certain amount of credence that they can use to come and use force in your territory. Because before this, everything they do outside the territory is against the UN Charter. It's against the UN Charter because you're using deadly force on the high seas and you're using deadly force in people's territorial waters. Now you can come in people's territorial waters because you have a tacit acceptance. So they have accepted it. Well, not tacit acceptance, they actually signed to this document.
So that document gives them the power to enter your territorial waters. And I assume can enter onto your land. If you say, look, we figure X, Y, Z is occurring, they can assist in a military operation to destroy, as you're saying, rather than bring to justice via the judicial system. Is it that you expect, Commander Dindial, should it be read as a document that can give the United States leverage or tacit approval to set up a military presence, whether temporary or permanent, in Trinidad and Tobago?
Well, definitely. Well, and the MOU has already been signed. Now, I don't know if you let me just read the first proclamation. I have it here. And did you all the commitment to countering cartel criminal activity? Did you all see that proclamation at all, March 7th?
No.
Well, I have a question, Commander Dindial. Why is this information coming from the government? Why?
But you see, the reason, and I can only give you my opinion. My opinion that the reason that they're not giving this information to the public is to couch it and frame it in a particular way. So you're framing this as if it is going to help crime and criminality in Trinidad and Tobago. Mm-hmm. So everybody believes that, this is something that they're coming in here to help. So murders, gang violence, you understand that, investigation, those sorts of things, illegal mining, disrupting corruption, because there's an excess of the corruption. And as I said, there's corruption at all levels within the government. And when you have drugs moving into Trinidad and Tobago, the only way you have to follow the money, and the money goes through the legal financial system. And that is not the job of the military. The military can't dismantle that. The military is the hard package that will go against the drug lords, the kingpins. It will go against the labs, the drug labs, and the mutes. Now, even if you take this out, you're not taking out the things that are in the financial system, because the money is still going through the financial system, the legal ways, the corruption is still there. That is not the military. The military is not trained for that. The military is not law enforcement. So they're not telling people what is the meat of the matter. They're couching it in a particular way so people figure. You think about it, they give you a little piece and you go about, and then they will tell you, well, I never said that, I said we're doing law enforcement. You came up with your own ideas. And so I'm not lying to you. I'm not lying to the public.
But I'm not telling you the complete truth.
I didn't tell you. So it is left for the public to go out and read, find out themselves. So here's point one. Criminal cartels and foreign terrorist organizations in the Western Hemisphere should be demolished to the fullest extent possible, consistent with applicable law. Whose law? Whose law? And you already know that we had cartels or drug boats intercepted in international waters, and I will frame it as extrajudicial killings because it's against the UN Charter. They would not brought to justice. It wasn't a law enforcement exercise. So when you put things in this, remember the United States can designate the cartel as a foreign terrorist organization. If you are designated as a foreign terrorist organization, it gives them the right to come into your territory and dismantle and take over, because they're a foreign terrorist organization. So US law precedes, so supersedes even your local law over, because they do not listen to anybody. The United States don't listen to international law. And so they're just using this to give them that authority to say, no, here's what this is my partner nation, this is the foreign terrorist organization, and we're going to go inside there and do that. And that is Article 1. You have to be very, very careful. And that's one. No, and it's just 4. Number 2, the United States and its allies should coordinate to deprive these organizations of any control of territory. Remember, he's asking about land. So territories, land and sea, and access to financing or resources necessary to conduct their campaigns of violence. The United States will train and mobilize partner nation militaries. There is nothing here about police service. There's nothing here about the judiciary. There's nothing here about any investigative process so that people to help. The United States will train and mobilize partner nations militaries to achieve the most effective fighting force necessary to dismantle cartels and their ability to export violence and pursue influence through organized intimidation. Military, I want you to focus on. And number 4, which is the last one, the United States and its allies should keep external threats at bay, including malign foreign influences from outside the Western Hemisphere. I think that one, we need to pay particular attention to that one. Dr. Rabu Singh?
I am doctor.
Listen to the words of this one. The United States and its allies should keep external threats at bay, open, including malign foreign influences, open, from outside the Western Hemisphere. Finish, full stop.
So that could mean anybody at the end of the day.
That's particularly targeting China and Russia.
And Russia, yes. That's how it sounds.
I allow you, doctor, to interpret it. So we are not telling the public that, this is what it is. But we've directed the public, go read this document, but we're not telling, if you don't want to read it, that's your fault that you want to be ignorant. You want to be ignorant, no problem, but I'm not coming out to tell you that this. So I allow the public to remain, and I hear a lot of people, even a lot of experts, you hear a lot of experts talking and they're framing and say, this is going to help Trinidad and Tobago. This is going to put us in a particular way. We're going to be getting rid of the drug cartels. You hear anything about drug cartels and really inside it when you hear all those other things, those other points?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's the United States exercising its dominance over certain places.
Correct.
Yeah, that's
it's kind of like encoding the Monroe Doctrine in a way, even though they're calling it the Donroe Doctrine now. But it's kind of encoding it in a sense in that within the countries that have aligned with that Shield of Americas. In other words, keep the Western Hemisphere the preserve of the one superpower in this area.
Yes.
Basically.
It is. So I agree with that we have a crime problem. We have a detection rate problem. And even you heard Gary Griffith was speaking about it. He will say that, the Prime Minister didn't have a choice to sign this document because the Commissioner of Police, he says he comes out and he says the Commissioner of Police and the police service themselves are not doing a proper job. A lot of things has been dismantled. So we don't have the proper modern day policing and stuff to do that. That's correct. But we need to strengthen the agencies. The solution on this is not a strategy of having a centralized focus on kinetic strikes by a military, because having the military at the center of your strategy will not solve the problem that we've been trying to solve for so many years, so many decades.
What is your opinion?
Oh, go ahead, Wenda.
Yeah. What is your opinion on the latest piece of news that the Minister of Homeland Security indicated that the United States provided this government with a list of persons of interest involved in drugs and guns and so on? How do you interpret that?
So I'll be cautious about that. I mean, we still have this Scott drug report that people have been talking about. We have so many reports in Trinidad and Tobago that nobody do anything about. So you are relying on the United States investigative bodies or investigative arms to tell you who are the persons of interest. So you have already seen that President Chavez is a person of interest. You have already seen that Maduro is a person of interest. Cuba is the president of Cuba is treated with person of interest. So what is the criteria for him to say you are a person of interest? We're saying person of interest. Anybody that speaks out against the United States is a person of interest. What is this person of interest about? Is it individuals that you have information that are connected with the drug trade? Is it that is a person of interest? Is it individuals that are under the financial investigation unit? What is the person of interest? So they haven't told us. They just leave it out as open as a person of interest. So I'd be wary of that, when we say person of interest, especially when it comes for the United States. But then again, who is our analysts? We have intelligence agencies in Trinidad and Tobago, very good intelligence agencies, and some of them. Where are the reports from them? Our persons of are we going to throw up our hands and just say, listen, give us everything for the United States?
Well, that's my impression, that because we would have been monitoring certain people. We would have had state of emergencies where people were detained and so on. We always say we know who Mr. Big is and who the big fish are. Why do we need a list from the United States when we're supposed to have had that information already?
So let me go a little further, gentlemen. Why we need a list, right? Why it is do we need a state of emergency in the first place? If the police service was properly manned, and you could go out and you have the evidence, information gathering, you could have gone and gotten a warrant, because that will ensure that whoever you're going against, you would now have the evidence there so that you can take this criminal case or this case from arrest and charge to the courts to a conviction.
Right.
So we can see that is one of the reasons, because the police service themselves cannot do everything. Look how many murders are unsolved. We have so many unsolved murders in Trinidad and Tobago. We have some unsolved cold cases. We have kidnappings. First, and I don't want to forget murders. If we bring it a little down, we have so many unsolved robberies and thefts. So we have simple things.
Because you have to be thinking about what the government is thinking in terms of aligning themselves with this. And it has to be that they think the interests of Trinidad and Tobago aligns with placing Trinidad and Tobago in this group. Whether they're correct or wrong, they have the mandate to do that because they were elected. So they're saying, okay, we're aligning ourselves with the shield of the Americans, which is made up of a lot of right-wing or right-leaning governments in Latin America. Is it that you expect, and of course, they have been, I'm trying to contextualize everything. You have the big bad UNC, which has been something that has been proffered in terms of a poster in the Prime Minister's enclave. And of course, her attitude this time around has been along those lines. In how she criticizes, how she speaks about people and stuff like that. And of course, we have several states of emergencies that have been called. Do you expect that there are going to be joint operations with Trinidad and Tobago police and army and US military in terms of trying to attack, and I'm putting attack in inverted commas, the gangs of Trinidad and Tobago? Because they always claim that they know the gangs and they know roughly how many gang members there are and which the main gangs are. So I assume they know where the main gangs are sited. And you have a state of emergency. So do you expect that there will be joint operations along that lines to deal with it, labeling it as cartel connections?
Well, first of all, when you look at the document that is signed, they're here to train the military. So it doesn't allude to the police will be involved in any of those activities. In the operationalizing of it, they may be able to say that the police, in the operational part of it, our military will now train the police service in order to go and insert themselves in one of these gangs. But you remember, but that is based on the premise that the gangs are now called cartels. So you have to reframe it. You have to now call the gangs a cartel, and you have to say, okay, who's the leader? If there's a cartel, the cartel always have a leader, right? And the leader always have. So you have to show that this gang is actually a cartel. And I think that's what they're setting this whole thing up to do. In order to
they're already using that word.
Yes.
They already start using that word.
So the gangs will come out and say, but we know the cartels. We are community leaders. We are community leaders in the area. So if we are community leaders in the area now, if you look back, the funding is the problem we have in Trinidad and Tobago. We don't produce drugs in here. Even sell for our local weed. Nobody does want to smoke our local weed. We import in weed from up the islands. Our local weed. Nobody spent that. And even if we produce in very small amounts. Nothing to say that we exporting. But with that, when they bring the money is where it goes. We had even self. I said I will refer again to when Gary Griffith was the commissioner. He said to the UNC administration that you are funding gangs because these community leaders here that you are giving these CPEP contracts to, and you're giving the contracts, so they are ghost gangs. They are ghost gangs inside the gangs because we have gangs. We call them gangs, right? Working gangs. You have people and you are funding them in order to produce criminal element because they don't want to work. So you have that sort of things that is interblended, it's interwoven into our society. Our society is that. So following the money is the key. You have to follow the money in order to dismantle these gangs and this. But coming back and being straight to your point, I don't see the police service as this document is framed right now working together with the U.S. military. However, it may be possible where the U.S. military will be able to do their independent strikes because once you are designated a cartel and a foreign terrorist organization, the U.S. law supersedes your law.
It gives them the authority.
Correct.
So they don't need the involvement of our TTPS at all in any operation that they may do.
They don't need the involvement of the TTPS.
Interesting.
So that is where we have to be very careful. That's where we have to be very careful. That's where if we have foreign troops on our soil and they're working under a gang that is called a cartel and now it's a foreign terrorist organization, they can go in and do whatever they without even asking the bigger police service for permission.
Well, Commander Dindial, I am of the opinion that TTPS is hopeless. So, I probably would not have a problem with if the U.S. military comes and deals with the situation in here, our crime problem in here, because I just feel the TTPS is hopeless, especially under the current construct with people who coming up through the ranks leading the TTPS. Our best hope, and I continue to say that, would have been the last occasion that Gary Griffith was there, but he would have had his own issues. But to me, the TTPS needs somebody outside of their ranks to deal with their situation because they can't fix their problems internally. Look at how many issues we have been having with the TTPS. The latest one is that somebody walk in a police station and remove blocks of marijuana and put wood. They can't fix. They didn't solve that. They haven't come to us and tell us what is going on with that. So many of the shootings with the TTPS and so on. Then maybe the government is onto something by bringing in the U.S. military.
So I love your response. And this is exactly what we're going to go back to where you asked the question. Remember when you asked the question about where we are going with the US and with the US coming and why the government is not saying or telling the public exactly what is going on with these documents? That's exact. Your response there justifies the government. So the government is playing on you and us and the general public to justify that. They're allowing the police service to not be bolstered and not be strengthened to say that we need. So you get the public to say we need, so the public buys in. So they're making the public buy in to believe, listen, here's what, we need the help. And the only way we're going to get the help is externally. And we need the help from the US military. But I argue to you that the US military is not the answer. If it is law enforcement, you have, and we are following the Westminster style of government, you have Scotland Yard. You have your part, because that's where our administration is. Policing is that style. So you can lean on the Scotland Yard to help us. So I'm refocusing us instead of the US military to come in and train the military. Let's get the police the required help that it needs, but from the people that it needs it from, the evidence people, the policing, that part of it. So I hear you, but we are leaving it open to give the Americans justification and the public to support the Americans coming in. So I ask the public, listen, yes, we need help. I agree with you, but look somewhere else. Let's look at the policing service, look at the judiciary, let's look at prison reform, let's look at the help from where our constitution is born from, the UK.
Commander Dindial, that analogy that you just draw about leaving the police service to run down so that you justify that if that is the case, it's not this government alone that is responsible for that. That has been going on for a long time. Right? But what I want to ask you, basically, out of this shield of America and all this alliance that we have entered into, because is there any good that could come out of this for Trinidad and Tobago from your point of view?
Well, you see, it gives the only good that I see is giving the people hope. It gives the people hope that something will happen, and that's important, to give the people hope. But presently, where we are aligning ourselves with the Trump regime, and we're seeing what's happening in the global aspect, the whole geopolitics of it. This radar in Tobago, it ain't finished, It hasn't been, it's not completed. You realize this radar is still there. We realize that there's still troops here in Tobago, a lot of them. And I said to people, for the radar of that complexity, you have to have 30 people first on it. And then you have a rotation. So if 3 by 3, so you have a minimum of 100 people in Trinidad and Tobago just to deal with that radar, right? The minimum. I could give you the figures of people that are going to be there to support, and the support elements. You have that. If you look at the war in Iran, what is taking place, the first thing that they took out, and I said it when we had put the radar here, the first thing you take out is the eyes. The radars are the place you're going to target. We are very, very lucky that what happened in Venezuela just took place in a couple of hours. If that had stretched out, the radar in Trinidad and Tobago was going to be a legitimate, and still is a legitimate target for whatever is to come. Still is a legitimate target. You can see that. Now, I think that the two, when analysts look at what took place in Venezuela, there are two things that happened there. One is that either President Maduro, he bet too much on his generals, thinking that their loyalty was 100%. We know that the US CIA was involved in a lot of things there, and they may have been bought out. And if they have been bought out, he hedged a lot of his bets that his general was there. So they've been bought out, and they allowed them to come into Venezuela to have that strike, because you can't look back and say, listen, the Venezuela has so many manpads, and not one helicopter was taken out, right? When you analyze the data, one of the scenarios is that he was sold out by his generals. Mm-hmm. Second scenario there is that they are playing the long waiting game, that they recognize that the President Trump cannot go into, or not supposed to go into, another term. Mm-hmm. So in the interim, all the US sanctions have been dropped. Venezuela was being choked. Venezuela can now breathe, but the administration remains almost the same. It's almost the same administration. Nothing has changed from the administration. It's just that the head of the administration has gone, but has been replaced by Delcy. And
has the operation, the way how things are being done in Venezuela, is there not some change taking place there?
Oh yeah. So I'm saying that. So this is the second theory that can happen. That he's playing the long waiting game. He has changed that. So this is all strategy. He's there, and when the administration changes in the Trump administration, you get a presidential pardon from the new president who comes in, because you see the US is saying that that he was taken illegally, and when the pressure comes, and he goes back to Venezuela and stuff. So there are two theories there. One, that he was sold out by his own, and the other is that it was actually done purposefully in order to move. That being said, Trinidad and Tobago was put in a particular good place, that there was no war, there was no strikes, because in any kinetic event, in any military action, your radar is your sights, your eyes. That is where they're going to take you out. And you're seeing it in Iran. You're seeing where they're taking place. They're taking out all the bases. They're taking all the bases that are around it, all the support elements. And Trinidad and Tobago's ports and seaports and airports were being used as a staging ground and a refueling campaign in order for the US's strike in Venezuela, the US's action in Venezuela. So it still puts us in a position where what is going on globally, we have aligned ourselves to the US interests. We are now supporting the US we have said it openly in these strikes. That brings me to a particular point where Iran itself, when you look at it, the regime is a more radical regime for anyone. When you see a radical regime digging in and they are fighting a superpower like this, you saw 9/11, the sleeper cells are going to be activated. And 9/11, you're going to have an activity like 9/11 happening somewhere again. The possibility for that is the World Cup that is coming up. That's the area where you're going to look at. But the Iranians, analysts and intelligence will know that they are going to have a lot of heightened security for those events. The US also know that these events are going to be targeted. So the Iranians may or may not play the game, just like with the drones. They may allow them to believe that they're coming at the World Cup. Let them focus all the attention at the World Cup, and all the resources there, and then hit somewhere smaller.
But the elephant in the room, Commander Dindial, in terms of that analysis, is Donald Trump. He's not a normal president. And he is kind of like no bars hold, that if you were to attack the territorial United States, it would be very concerning about what his reaction may be to Iran with regard to that. Wouldn't that be a cautionary tale because of how sometimes erratic he comes across and his non-deliberation in making decisions? Seeming non-deliberation. I know he has experts that are going to be cautioning or saying yes or no and stuff like that, because the US machinery is more than just the president. It's a whole host of other people and professionals weighing in on issues. So would Iran want to take that kind of chance?
So, and you're right, he's an irrational president. He does things. You look at his playbook. His playbook is here and there, and it moves. What do you call it? The art of the deal. He's a businessman. Sorry, but that you have to take into the context what he has done. It is a radical regime. Iran could have stopped a long time ago, right? But they have not. And we know the whole adage. If you back a wounded cat in a corner, they're going to come at you with everything they have, because they're fighting for survival. They're fighting for their right to live. That's where, and he has already hinted to the global community that he may use a small nuclear weapon on Iran.
We saw that this morning.
Yeah. Yes, hinted to the community. So
we have to leave it there for this morning. And I thank you so much for weighing in and sharing your thoughts with us this morning.
Yeah, unfortunately, time has run out, even though it was getting very interesting. But
I was hoping to get some questions from your viewers and see maybe next time.
Maybe at the next occasion.
Yeah, maybe when we bring you on next time, it'll be purely to interact with them and for them to ask questions about what's going on, not only here, but internationally. Because it is concerning that Trinidad and Tobago has obviously showed its hand in terms of saying we support the US action. Does that make us a target or not? I don't know. So hopefully not. Hopefully we are considered, irrelevant in the scheme of things.
Thank you very much, Commander.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Commander Dindial.
Anytime.
Yeah. You attack a nation, kill their leader, an Islamic nation, kill their leader in the middle of Ramadan, and you don't expect a retaliation? Not going to happen.
People, we will be back shortly.
The news you need, the clarity you deserve. Local, regional, global. This is Net Radio News Now.
This is News Now for Thursday, the 12th of March, on New Era TT Radio and Dial Caribbean TV. I'm Derek McMillan. Good day, everybody. Government is moving to make Trinidad and Tobago's laws officially available online while keeping the traditional printed volumes. The change is contained in the Law Revision Amendment Bill 2026, piloted in the Senate by Saddam Hussein, Minister of Land and Legal Affairs. The legislation will allow electronic versions of the country's laws to be recognized as official, alongside the printed Red Book volumes currently used. Hussein said although many people already access laws online, those versions are not legally recognized under the current system. He said the move will make the laws easier to update and could save taxpayers millions of dollars spent printing the volumes overseas. Opposition Senator Faris Al-Rawi supported the bill but warned that legal risks must be carefully addressed. The government has launched an online immigration arrival and departure card system, replacing the long-standing paper forms used at Trinidad and Tobago's ports of entry. The platform, introduced by the Immigration Division of Trinidad and Tobago under the Ministry of Homeland Security of Trinidad and Tobago, allows travelers to complete their immigration declarations electronically before traveling. Passengers must access the government's portal at travel.gov.tt, create an account, and upload a photograph of the biodata page of their passport. Travelers can complete the form within 72 hours before arrival or departure. Once submitted, they will receive a digital receipt containing a unique code and QR code to present to immigration officers on arrival or departure. Homeland Security Minister Roger Alexander said the initiative is part of efforts to modernize the country's immigration system and improve efficiency at ports of entry. Fire officers are expressing strong dissatisfaction with government's 5% wage increase offer. President of the Fire Service Association of Trinidad and Tobago, Peony Guy, said members feel extremely disrespected by the proposal. Guy said the issue was discussed during a recent meeting with Chief Personnel Officer Norman Dindial, where the association rejected the offer. He said firefighters believe the increase does not reflect the economic realities and declining purchasing power experienced by officers over the past decade. Guy added that the association will submit a counter-proposal in the coming weeks as negotiations continue. The development follows a similar position by the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service Social and Welfare Association, whose president Ishmael Pitt also indicated the police body intends to reject the 5% wage offer. The Transport and Industrial Workers Union has denied that industrial action by employees is responsible for delays affecting bus services at the Public Transport Service Corporation depot in Port of Spain. The PTSC said disruptions on the Port of Spain to Arima route were linked to workers refusing to operate assigned services, shutting down some work areas, and engaging in go-slow actions. However, TYW President Sean Roberts said the union is unaware of any such industrial action and insisted relations with the corporation remain cordial. Roberts said the union is expected to meet with PTSC officials as negotiations continue. Meanwhile, commuters at the Citygate terminal reported long waits, with some buses arriving up to an hour later than scheduled. The Court of Appeal of Trinidad and Tobago says citizens may eventually be able to sue each other for breaches of privacy, although such claims are not currently recognized in law. Justices Mark Mohammed, Maria Wilson, and James Aboud raised the issue while ruling on a case involving two teenagers confronted in a bathroom at a Barrackpore shopping complex by landlord Christian Bastio. The court ruled the teens could not pursue a privacy claim because constitutional privacy rights presently apply only against the state, not private individuals. However, Justice Wilson noted that technological advances and the rapid spread of information online may eventually require courts or parliament to recognize privacy claims between citizens. In the case itself, the Court of Appeal overturned parts of a high court ruling and found that Basdiel falsely imprisoned the teenagers and committed battery against one of them. He was ordered to pay $30,000 to the male student and $25,000 to the female student. In international news, 3 cargo vessels have been struck by projectiles in the Strait of Hormuz, raising tensions along one of the world's most important oil shipping routes. Maritime authorities say the incidents occurred near Oman, and the United Arab Emirates as conflict between Israel, the United States, and Iran continues to escalate. Iran later acknowledged responsibility for one of the attacks after a Thai-flagged cargo ship caught fire north of Oman. All 23 crew members were rescued. A Japanese-flagged container ship and another cargo vessel also reported damage in separate incidents near the UAE. The UK Maritime Trade Operations has warned vessels transiting the area to exercise caution. Meanwhile, Iran has threatened to block oil shipments to the United States and Israel through the strait, through which about 20% of the world's oil supply normally passes. U.S. President Donald Trump has warned Tehran of severe consequences if shipping through the corridor is disrupted. And that's the main stories at this time.
That was News Now. Stay informed with New Era TT Radio, Net Radio.
For God shall wipe away, yes sir, every tear from their eye. Yes sir. Get ready.
TNT Get Ready for Kirk Franklin in concert. Prisoners No More. We meet at the Queen's Park Oval on March 21st for an unforgettable evening of revival and renewal with Kirk Franklin and his full band. And Trinbago's top gospel artists, Jaron Nurse, Gates Praise, Blessed Messenger, St. Anthony's Music Ministry, and Darren Sandy.
But there is no sunshine.
Early bird tickets are sold out. General, kids, VIP, group, and cabana tickets available at accesstix.com. Hacker restaurants nationwide, Maranatha bookstores, Living Water Community, Santa Rosa Bookshop, Arima, St. Anthony's, RC Church, Point Fortin, Sky 99.5 FM, CNC3, and the Big Board Company are the official media partners. Endorsed by Catholic TT and the Ministry of Culture and Community Development. Kirk Franklin is coming to TNT.
Scandal in Cedros is coming to San Fernando, and it is hilarious. Coming from sold-out houses in Port of Spain, this is the play that has audiences in stitches. 2 nights only at Naparima Bowl. Saturday the 14th of March at 8:30 p.m. and Sunday the 15th at 6:30 p.m. Box office at Naparima Bowl opens from Monday, March 9th, 12 noon to 6 p.m. daily. Tickets also available at K-Square Fashion C3 Center and Brentwood Mall in Chagonas. Tickets also available at Fence of Marabella by the Roundabout. Scandal in Cedros, the comedy event of the year.
Scandal in Cedros.
Save more now at Furniture Plus. Get a pair of pillows for only $49, queen mattresses from $7.99, free gifts with select purchases, plus extra discounts on higher purchase plans. Hurry, visit any Furniture Plus showroom today.
S&H Rumbox, 137 Western Main Road, St. James, for all your retail and wholesale needs for alcohol and non-alcoholic beverages. Call us at 686-0599 or visit us at 137 Western Main Road, St. James. S&H Rumbox, drinking out of the box.
2 fat fellas goes to San Fernando. Heading south.
2 fat fellas comes to Sapa for 2 nights only. Saturday 14th and Sunday 15th March. 2 nights only.
2 fat fellas stars: Cecilia, Penny, Kevon, Zachary, Rachel, and Roy. Tickets available at Dorman Shoe Store along Circular Mall, K-Square Stores, Eastgate Mall, Brentwood Plaza, Applebee's by the Park. All Southern Food Basket locations. Sapa box office opens on Friday the 13th and islandetickets.com. For more info on 683-4843.
2 fat fellas, Sapa, 2 nights only.
Advertise with us on New Era TT Radio, the fastest growing streaming platform for talk in Trinidad and Tobago. Audio and video ads welcome. Elevate your brand with us. Connect with us at newerattradio@yahoo.com or call us at 299-5156. Now what are you waiting for?
Okay, everybody, and we welcome you back inside of the third and final hour of the breakfast show. And of course, you are listening to New Era TT Radio. Of course, Richard Ragobar saying, Wendell Stevens, and I'm yours truly, Sir Charles. We're happy to be here with you Monday to Friday. You find us in this space, all right? A little programming note for you, just to let you know that coming up when we finish the breakfast show, so that would probably be like about 8:40, 8:45. When you come across the New Era TTRadio.com, we have the MSG. We'll be listening to a pre-recorded program from them. You know, they have their Tuesday talk, and we carry that here on the net. They will be talking about International Women's Day, which went just over the weekend, and they have a panel of female presenters. So that is something for all of you all to look forward to. So come across the New Era TTRadio.com and listen to what the MSG has to say and what those ladies are presenting. A different side on a whole lot of different topics. Yeah, different voices on the net.
All right. Of course, I guess we could take some calls. There were lots of comments that I can't. It's some people comments are coming, I think, long after a discussion, because it's not relevant to what's being discussed at the time, but they're raising it. But I guess the system, the internet, I can't believe they're sending the comments then. I believe the comments were more relevant to what some of the things we were discussing earlier on. So, but it only just came true now.
Yeah, but just to go back to before we go there with with what Commander Dindial was saying, and we thank him very much for being on the platform.
Mhm.
You know, these are people that we have access to who really come on and share their thoughts with us. But it was interesting because he said that the U.S. military has been training us for a long time here in Trinidad and Tobago, and he credits the quality of the training that we have gotten from them. But I found it strange that he said that we don't need it anymore. You know,
We didn't say we don't need it, but
I thought
that's been a long-standing relationship, and he,
Yeah.
as a member of the military for years, would know what he's speaking about.
Yeah, because I know
US has always been
it is
here.
an ongoing thing, you know.
Yeah.
What you would have learned, especially in today's world and technology, what you learned not even last year, what you learned last 2 months gone, you know.
Yeah.
It's a whole different thing now, you know. So I just found that be a little strange in this statement.
I think he, like everyone else, well, most other people, I must say everyone else, are wary of the US's agenda in this issue. You understand? And how they could simply, basically, do your job, do what you're supposed to be doing, take over, decide they will classify a group as a cartel and deal with them. That's his concern, and that should be everybody's concern. You understand? Regardless.
I believe the arrangement goes much more than that, because it you know, I am sure there are things, at least I'm hoping, I'm not saying I'm sure because I don't know, that I'm hoping that there are more things in between that arrangement that will really help, and it would not probably just be military interventions, you know. But as I said, there are so many parts of the puzzle that we don't know, we will never know, because this is how national security functions.
It's leadership, trustworthiness, and also chance. At the end of the day, it's about whoever is in charge, you know, and whether people trust that person, whether people trust the person who's the president of the United States, whether people trust the person who's the prime minister of Trinidad and Tobago, whether people trust the people in authority. That's what it comes down to at the end of the day, you know. And whether you just want to blindly support a party or a leader, no problem. You can't argue with people like that, because there are people like that on all fronts. People who blindly support, no matter what somebody say. Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
But then
there are those. There are those. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, but then it seems also as if, you know, like, okay, so soon as he goes, everything else goes, and we don't know if that will be the case.
Well, what Commander Dindial is saying,
And I think a lot of his decisions,
Yeah.
which have hurt millions of Americans, including some in his own party, a lot of those provisions may eventually go out the door.
Yeah, that's normal. I think, well, you know, they always say that God allows certain things to happen. For those who believe in God and how things happen, they believe that these things aren't happening in a vacuum. And sometimes you just have to wait out the process, which is what Commander Dindial, he didn't go to God, but he said that people are just going to wait until Donald Trump's term is up and try to fix back the place. But it's how much destruction he could do during that time. That might be, some of those things might be irreversible. You know what I mean?
As somebody said in the commentary chat, they quoted a Buddhist saying that says that there is no permanence. Things will always change and continue to change, and so.
Yeah.
One constant thing in life is change, they always say.
And that is so true. All right, well, you're ready for the callers, right?
Yeah. That story of that young lady that went to New York, it's now starting to really go viral, where she was murdered by this 75-year-old man. He was arrested, that is. You know what I mean? That is a very, very disturbing story. That people could try to follow their dreams, be convinced of a better life with someone and somewhere else, and it turns into a nightmare.
So she went with that man, that 75-year-old man?
That's what I'm reading now.
And he allegedly murdered her?
Yeah, he's been arrested for her death.
Crazy.
Yeah. She's 34, he's 75.
God.
Yeah. All right, let's take the call. Scholar, good morning.
Okay, thank you for Charles, Wendell, and Richard.
Morning, Bishop.
These guys are brighter. But again, looking at the history of Iran, which is Persia, centuries of war, centuries of that kind of behavior. If you see a Jew, you must kill them. You see a Christian, you should kill them. We have centuries of that. This is nothing now. But my problem or my concern is that we have a system here where we have not been able to manage over the decades. Under the PNM, we had about 5 ministers of national security, and they couldn't fix crime. We have what? Now.
They couldn't fix crime.
Yeah, we had about 5 or 6. Now we have one. It ain't good 2 years there. The commissioner of police.
You're not correct about that, but I'll allow you.
But you can correct me. I mean, you can correct me.
No, I don't. I think you meant under the People's Partnership, we had 5 or 6 ministers of national security. PNM, and we're talking about in their 5-year term. PNM would have served 2 terms. Okay? Where Edmund Dillon was a national security minister, Fitzgerald Hines and Stuart Young. That's it.
But the point I'm making is this, that between the 2 governments, we might have had about 6 different commissioners, and we have not been able to solve the crime problem and the drug problem and the gun problem. So if it is now, there's a new effort. I call him a madman, I don't trust the man. But if it is the Americans that come to help us fix that problem, we have to wait and see. We can't just hope and we just can't suppose and if that doesn't make any sense. We have to wait and see what will happen in the next 6 months. And if there is results in the next 6 months, then we can say, well, we can make adjustments to it. But we can't just diagnose a problem now and say, well, it's bad for us and all the institutional strengthening. Oh, that is just
okay.
The guys are bright.
Thanks very much, Bishop, for your input. Caller, good morning.
Hey, good morning. I finally get on.
Yeah, finally get on, Mr. Grant.
And first thing first, I apologize for last week, right?
Apologize.
Yeah, that's fine.
What happened last week?
No, when I said I use a word now.
Oh, okay. We understand that.
Right. Now listen, I hear people say that the PNM was served 10 years and they didn't do nothing and they put no law. But a lot of people forgetting, and this is an important part, they're forgetting every Monday morning when PNM tried to put a law, Ravi Balgobin was crying, the people the government to court, you know. How much money you owe in the government right now? I mean, PNM, right? We forget that. I taking up all the cases, and PNM had about 19.
But he switched to PNM right at the very end, Mr. Grant. You forget it, though?
Yeah?
He switched to PNM right at the very end before elections. You forget that? I don't forget anything, you know.
But that's telling you. So every time PNM do anything, it was going to cost. So PNM couldn't pass no law and things like what they're doing now. Right now, they are 28. They don't need no opposition.
PNM didn't need any law to institute the digital and the removal of forms in the airport. They didn't need no law to do that, and they talked about doing it, and they talked about doing it, and they talked about doing it, and they did not do it.
Yeah. Thanks very much, Mr. Grant. I have a lot of people online this morning.
Say, I lie.
Charles busting people throat
this morning. No, am I lying? Am I lying? They talk about it and they did not accomplish it.
Yeah, that's it. All right. Caller, good morning.
Hi, Charles. Good morning. Good morning.
Morning, Dabity.
Good morning, Richard. Morning.
Morning.
So, I enjoyed that interview. I find it was a little abrupt though. But anyway, probably, I mean time because of time constraint. So, the US manufactures guns. You know, all the talk with Donald Trump, all the different things you want to do, mash up cartels, this, that, and the other. I ain't hearing him talk about any guns, you know. He ain't saying anything about guns that the Americans manufacture. Right. Mexico, remember, I don't know if you all remember, probably 2 years ago, when Mexico and Dr. Rowley and other countries signed something to Central America concerning the manufacture of guns, destroying the people in the country. You all remember that?
Yeah.
I don't hear anybody from leadership from this new government talking about that. Bring up the guns. All they talk about is the drug trade, It's not drugs alone, it's drugs, and the drugs have to come with guns. So if you're not bringing up the guns and you just talk about the drugs, it's just that somebody making something on the side and don't want to bring up that part of it. So I'm not saying what's going to happen when the Prime Minister signed up to won't work. I'm not going to say that because we don't know. We just have to wait and see. But the problem is we just don't trust these leaders. They have credibility problems. So it's very hard for people to say, yes, everything they're going to do is going to work. But, you know, they have to come again because they have to bring back credibility to themselves before, especially if I'm talking to me now, I don't trust none of them, the police service included. Anyway, you all have a wonderful day.
Yeah. Let me tell you what people love more than anything else right now in my money. That is what people love. So they will take all manner of risks to ensure they have money. And how I should put it, unending money. That's what some people live for. They don't care what are the risks. Money is what they worship. Money is all they want. That's all.
Money. Must be funny.
Caller, good morning.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Morning to you, caller.
Yeah, for the past few weeks, I said I'll just sit back and listen because I don't have no horse in the race. I just want what is best for my country. And so when an issue come up, I don't have a view on every issue because I don't have all the information. I don't have that kind of intelligence. But certain things is a thing for me. We talk about the same crime problem, right? If we disaggregate the murders, how much is gang related? And gang related different than cartel related. We're a small country, right? If I supplying drugs, the same cartel who's supplying drugs to Trinidad, he just supplying, and he might have different gangs and then buying the drugs. And if they have a disagreement or want to kill one another over that and things like that, so that cartel thing will make no sense. But the US have a particular problem now. In World War II, how you feel they get all they have this thing with boots on the ground. Most of the personnel in the war, because we were a Commonwealth, Britain was able to take people from all the Commonwealth thing to go and fight the war. Some of them said, know what they're fighting for. Right? So the US now have this problem with, even in Iran and things right now, with putting troops on the ground. I mean, they get weary on that over the years, and I saw now in Venezuela. I figured that was the intention, and it didn't work out, so that was to take a different course. So when they sign up this agreement now, when there were boots on the ground, they want right? Like I'm Trinidad, I think they go and fight the dirty water, go and put boots on the ground and think for them. They're not going to intervene on we behalf. And this is the...
When they say we mean like Trinidad and Tobago soldiers or something?
Yeah. Richard was alluding to earlier, but would that really benefit for America? You want to invade Venezuela? They don't want to because they value their American lives, right? I don't you see what they're doing with the news? You're telling me them wipe out 17 US installation and they're only saying there are 8 deaths, and when they bomb Iran here with hundreds of deaths, right? So they want to keep that on the down low, right? So like you say, when we want to invade Venezuela, they don't want to put the American boots on the ground because American life is sacred to them, right? So why people are doing all these exercise and training local soldiers, all anything in it, you gotta put boots on the ground, right? So now we sign on to this now. It come like when we was in the Commonwealth. So you want to invade the US or Cuba or wherever, they don't want to send the American soldiers, they send the generals or whoever to directly and put you like fools to go and die for their cause.
I would hate to think that is what is going to happen.
That didn't even happen in World War I and II. When Trinidad and Tobago was actually involved in coalitions with war at that point, our people were not even on the forefront fighting.
We were, you know. That's why I have Memorial Park.
Yeah, but
Red Cross was one, not so?
Yeah, we were, but we were a colony then, so we were part of the British Empire.
Yeah, we didn't have a choice.
Yeah, so we were part of the British Empire at that point.
Yeah.
But you had Trinidad and Tobago veterans from that war. I don't know if any of them are still alive, because they'd have to be close to 100 or plus. But yeah, we lost men and women, I guess, in that war. I don't know women so much, but certainly we lost men.
Yeah.
Caller, good morning to you.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Morning.
I would like to take the line that Bishop took. It's amazing to me that everything Commander Dindial said was totally negative. He was asked a question by Richard and by Sir Charles. If he thinks anything good will come out of it. And I do not think I heard him give a single positive reply. No.
He said it gives us hope. He said that's what it will do. It will give us hope.
Okay, I didn't hear. I missed part of it. I missed something.
Yeah, he said that.
I didn't hear. I agree. Okay. There are several other experts in Trinidad who disagree with him completely. There are several other nations and leaders of nations who also sign on, who have security experts, some may be more advanced than Trinidad, and legal experts, and also disagree with him. So I tend not to disagree with him. And everything he said was just, as Richard would say, his opinion, because nothing he said was written in stone. It's just, I think this might happen, and I see this going to happen, and this may happen, and that may happen. So everybody seems to have a crystal ball of what may happen, but nobody has facts of what is actually written and is going to happen. He spoke about it's a military document. And that it says nothing about the police. It says nothing about the police, but does it have to say about the police? That will come in after. It doesn't say anybody using tanks. It doesn't say anybody using rocket launchers. But does that mean they wouldn't use it? The police will come in after. So his emphasis about it being military, I don't agree with that also. Okay? So this kind of foreseeing thing, and then I know I'm now hearing someone, another caller just came on. I don't know if he has a crystal ball and saying that, that they're training the troops to go and fight for them in Iran. Oh, this is far-fetched. This is really going beyond now. People are making up all these stories in their heads and coming on the radio station and spewing it and spreading as rumors and sending people down rabbit holes, you know. So I think, like the bishop said, people should just wait and see what happens. And if it doesn't work out, okay, listen, we don't like what's going on here. Let's stop this, you know. That is my take on it. Let's say we wait and see and give everybody a chance. That's how I think life is. Okay, we're gonna do something.
I mean, to be fair to Commander Dindial, he's the only person thus far.
Thanks, Rockaway.
Yeah, to be fair to Commander Dindial, he's the only person thus far that actually quoted from the document, as far as I know.
Yeah.
And read through the document and actually referenced that he looked at the document. Other people who have commented, I have not heard them say that. They seem to be talking generally. The other experts you're talking about seem to be talking generally about the initiative rather than actually looking at what was signed. They never indicated to me they looked at what was signed, like Commander India. No, they may have. I'm just saying they never indicated it.
But he actually read from the document.
Yeah, so I think that's a difference. And in just Googling about that Shield of Americas, they say key takeaways on military involvement, lethal force focus, which is what Commander Dindial was talking about. The core of the agreement is a commitment to using lethal military force to destroy the sinister cartels and terrorist networks. Joint operations and access. The coalition allows member states to request assistance from the United States to target cartel infrastructure, and it is expected to involve increased U.S. presence, including personnel and assets in regional waters. Shared responsibility. While it is designed to strengthen the capacity of participating nations to fight crime within their own borders, it encourages and in some cases requires a shared responsibility in regional security, which could mean joint cross-border operations. Voluntary but pressured. While participation is voluntary, Trump indicated that force could be used against those that refuse to cooperate or that do not sign with U.S. security interests in the region. In summary, the Shield of the Americas creates an inner club with both benefits, technology and intelligence, and obligations, requiring partners to take a more aggressive stance, which may lead to joint military actions beyond their borders.
So based on what you just read,
I just read that. Don't ask me to interpret.
I just heard you say that Trump can take action against nations that are uncooperative.
I just read it as I get it. I am not here to interpret.
You see why this show is so important too? Because you would have gotten different views, and I just want to respond to Far Rockaway. We examine all views. So when you called this morning to say that Commander Dindial is negative, you didn't call when Gavin Hira was very positive. Gavin Hira was very positive about it. You understand?
He was.
We give all views.
He was.
Yeah.
This is a different perspective in terms of Commander Dindial. So I mean, ultimately, people are going to have perspectives, but the reality is, what is the reality? The reality is that it is signed. Trinidad and Tobago is aligned. We are part of the Shield of Americas. Now we have to wait and see what that materializes into.
Kola, good morning to you.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning, Zena.
I am very worried about this wait and see. As far as I see, we are roping to America. Have we become another state of America? Cheso?
Not
if it means I walk through the airport without them asking me anything or checking anything, I good. And then without a visa, they don't ask. If it means that, then I good.
Well, no, it may mean that, but you may walk through there and then you may not be able to enjoy yourself where you go.
Who, me? Once I leave Trinidad, I just enjoy myself, woman.
You don't know which part of missile will come.
Especially if it's in Africa. Lord, I just enjoy myself.
Listen to me. I am asking that, well, I listen to all these views, and I feel that people have a right to express their views. People don't want some people feel they must not hear other people's views. Yeah, but the people stand there and spew out their views. Because up to now, I don't feel any one of us really understand the heights of what's going on, you know. All I know is that we're tying up with America, and that is what worrying me. Because when you see, just like how Iran looking for all the people that dealing with America, Lord Father, I would like that to drop here because we could just think.
Yeah.
Donald Trump only there for just under 4 years again.
And that is what I am trying to understand. Where do we stand with the CARICOM? With all this we tying up here with America, what is our dealing with CARICOM? We are no CARICOM.
We're still part of CARICOM. The Prime Minister was very clear in her speech that she is very much a CARICOM person.
It looked like CARICOM wouldn't have any say in anything. I don't know.
Well, Guyana was also a signatory. So there were two CARICOM nations that signed it. Guyana is also a signatory to that Shield of Americas.
Richard, with the person that is heading America right now, I am very worried. Thank you.
All right. Okay, no problem. Thanks very much, Zena. Thanks, everybody, for your input this morning. The lines were very busy this morning.
Yeah.
So when you get controversial and heated, very good.
And you know what is very busy? You know what other lines are very busy? Calls to scandal in Cedrus. That line is very busy, so you should really get your tickets as early as possible. I'm just going to say that many tickets have been sold thus far. So mind your business. So Scandal in Cedrus is on this weekend at Naparima Bowl on Saturday at 8:30 and Sunday at 6:30. So 2 nights in San Fernando. We coming down. And of course, tickets are available at the Naparima Bowl box office, 12 noon to 6 p.m. daily. And I know people have been going in droves to Naparima Bowl box office to get tickets. I kid you not. And of course, tickets are also available at K Squared Fashions in C3 Center and K Squared Fashions in Brentwood Mall in Chaconas for those of you in the central area who heading down to south. And those in Marabella, Fens of Marabella by the roundabout, you can get your tickets there. You can also purchase tickets online. Check RSR Productions Theatre on social media, Facebook, Insta, and TikTok, and you can see the methodology to accomplish that. But yeah, we're looking forward to 2 fantastic shows in South this weekend. I am very excited to be in South this weekend, and we haven't been at Naparima Bowl for a little while, so it's great to be back to what is considered the home of theatre in San Fernando. At Naparima Bowl this weekend. Scandal in Cedrus. Get your tickets early. Trust me.
Yeah. Good morning to the folks out there at Pranos.
In Cedrus.
Yeah, Prano in Cedrus.
Yeah.
You know, and one in Minister Swaratsing. I don't know why Araxing does come to me, but it's Swaratsing.
Yeah.
You know? But I want to tell you too, as I was telling, what was just called that every time I jump on a plane, regardless of where I go, all my stresses just suddenly leave me. But one of the best trips I've had actually is to Canada. I have to tell you all, Canada is probably one of the most beautiful places that I've seen. I mean, I've been to a lot of places, but I really enjoy going to Canada. And I had an experience in Canada that I've not had anywhere else in this world. I can't tell you exactly what it is.
Wow.
Is
that secret?
Is it something sexual?
It's not a secret.
Is it something sexual?
You can't share it. If you're so good, you were so good and you can't share it.
No, it's not
But
sexual.
if it's not sexual, why can't share it?
I went to this place and it was like out of this world. I thoroughly enjoyed myself. I had an experience that I probably would not have had anywhere else in the world, in Canada. You know, I'll leave it at that. But I absolutely enjoyed it. Folks have an absolutely wonderful day.
Yeah, I don't like tea room.
It's not be Marco face, Charles. Marco
that's
face
all right.
not going up, you know. He
Yeah,
said,
that's
oh,
all
I
right,
can do an
already.
explain.
Yes.
I can do an explain. That's what he thinking about, you know.
So wait a say you don't want all of us to go Canada and get an experience?
All want to have the same experience.
Yes. No. That experience is well, it's actually open to everybody. But I enjoyed it. Robert Allen. I haven't been to Japan, but I am
more questionable as a child.
Yes. You had to hook up to that link.
Richard, didn't I send you a video?
And the last time I have been to Canada, I was a teenager, which is not that long ago.
Oh, Lord,
but
Richard.
I was a teenager.
Oh, Lord, Richard.
And my cousin Amanda and her husband Damien and Edwin were in the stream. I don't know in the stream today, and they're always harassing me to come.
They live in Canada.
They live in Canada in Kitchener. And they always harassing me. When are you coming to Canada? When are you coming to Canada? I have endless family in Canada, And I have not been. Last time I've been to Canada was a few years ago when I was a teenager. That was the last time.
Well, we can understand that, if you aren't living down the street, you ain't go for years. Hey, Wendell.
Hey, what's up?
If his aunt living down the street and he ain't go by his aunt for years.
For that.
Excuse me, I went by my aunt for not only for Christmas and New Year's, but when I went recently for her birthday. For her birthday, I went and I visited her and I limed with her for a little while.
Very good, very good. Things improving.
So you see, I'm not that bad.
Hey, people, we gotta go.
Here's where we wrap up the breakfast show this morning. Of course, New Era TT Radio continues on newerattradio.com into the Bacchanal mid-hour program that starts at 10. Apparently, it's a Bacchanal, so you all should. Apparently, it's a Bacchanal, so you all should join and be part of that Bacchanal. It's from 10 a.m. to 12 noon, but excellent programming throughout the day. So go to newerattradio.com or New Era TT Radio on TuneIn to join the Bacchanal and be part of it. Of course, this has been the Breakfast Show. Remember to smile and laugh. It's great for your health and de-stress. Don't let nothing bother you. In terms of take a time every now and then to de-stress yourself, and a great opportunity to do that is at Naparima Bowl this weekend.
Well,
Goodbye.
No, I'm just doing something here.
You could say let go and let God while you're doing it.
Oh, folks, have an absolutely wonderful day. Remember, I thought I did say it already. Remember to let go and let God. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much. So just in case you didn't know, this has been
the Breakfast Show.
Get up, get up. It's the time to start the day. The Breakfast Show is here. We bring in the soca way.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. Wake up, it's a brand new dawn. The Breakfast Show got the vibe.